Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's me, Colin, Project Constitution. And with me today, I have my co host for today, which is Ali Zarik. That's how you
How
say
are
your
you?
last name, right?
Yes, sir. You got it.
All right, cool. And if you guys want to follow him, he goes by Zarik Master on X. I will drop his handle in the chat for you guys. That way you guys can go follow him. Give me 1 second here. All right. There you go. There's his handle if you guys want to follow him. And today we are going to go over a whole bunch of Epstein bombshells. Uh, we've got some wild stuff to tell you today. This is coming off of the post that I made yesterday where the DOJ had deleted over 500,000 files of the data set 10 overnight. Well, we have some updates on that, as well as some more revelations as well. So Ali here is going to pretty much take the lead on this because he has all the information.
A
So
lot of
I'm just going
information
to
to
be here to
cover.
watch.
All right,
So
guys.
good, brother. Good to
For
see
the
everybody, by the way. Thank you all for joining us. Hey, Karen, good to see you.
all right, let's take it from here. First document's the most important one after all the crazy stuff that's been happening with the Howard Lutnik situation and him being
You want to actually the way to start out. You want to give them an update on what you found out about the 500,000 files that were deleted.
all right. A few days ago, like 2, 3 days ago, I was in the midst of searching through the files for a whole week straight since the new batch of files released. I just been looking through them nonstop, one by one, and I found data set 10 to be the most important one because there's a lot of private messages between a bunch of important people. Steve Bannon, there's people from the UN that were messaging Epstein. There were models messaging him. There was like a like a massive cache of files, nonstop conversation, and that's usually what you get more so the important information. You see privately how they're speaking, their demeanor, how they speak with each other. That usually tells you, it tells you more about them, tells you about their psychology, how they're thinking, and it's much more important than emails because emails, you'll have a certain message here, there, but you won't have deep conversations because it's kind of like witnessing two people having a full-on conversation versus just this minor message, So that's usually give me a big bite of how they talk with each other, how they communicate. The most text messages I found or Skype messages I found were between Epstein and Steve Bannon. There was a lot of information. Even they describe even their relationships with Trump. They call him an idiot sometimes. They like put him down in a lot of situations. Say he's not viable as a president, things like that. So you actually see the truth of what they're actually trying to convey to each other.
So even Bannon is talking like that about Trump.
Yes, see, Bannon talks
Wow,
sometimes talks down on Trump, says he's not capable, and there's a lot of things.
that's
There's
crazy because Bannon has basically been his personal ass licker. You know.
exactly, and what's insane about these messages is in 2017, Epstein was still seeing Trump. During the 2016 election and stuff, he was actually seeing Trump. I believe is in France or something. I have the messages here. We'll go through them. The most important one I wanted to do and emphasize the furthest on is the Lutnik one because the Lutnik is very
The
incriminating.
exactly. But what I went update though, what I was talking about is how they were deleted
And brought
overnight,
back. Hmm.
and then they were brought back. So now they've been put back up after we made that post and it went viral yesterday. But
Exactly. I mean,
they've been brought back without the Lutnik stuff. They
exactly.
specifically took out all the incriminating stuff about Howard Lutnik.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about this. They were gone for like a week straight, and I'd come back to the Epstein files and just like refresh. They're like, why is there only 145 pages? It's insane. I had scrolled manually through them. I had scrolled to at least page 3,500, 3,600, and the pages just don't stop. What's funny about this is some of these pages, like especially when you search Rothschild, because their name is mentioned more times than even Trump's mentioned in there. And when you hit last page, the page just crashes. It never allows you to go to the last page. And like you never know you'd have to manually search in the search bar on top every single page one by one. But let me pull up the Lutnik one first, because this one was just mind blowing. The person, the witness they're interviewing even has all the evidence for this. When they ask him about one of the other things, like one random thing, and he tells them, "I don't have any evidence on that, but I have evidence on everything else." And this is just incriminating, exclusively due to the fact that he references, how the pay structures in the company, and how Lutnik takes 10% of contributions from his employees' earnings. And this fits kind of like how he lost all his employees died during 9/11. So, did he take all this money? What happened with this money? And this is not to mention James Lee came out with an article just yesterday about insider trading. Lutnik was doing some insider trading. I don't know if we have time to play that video. It's only like a 2-minute video. You mind if you pull that up so the viewers can
Yeah,
see that too as well? I'm gonna pull it up
yeah,
for you guys real quick, just so you guys can see this. So this is an important video. This links exactly to what these documents say. And three strikes and you're out.
yeah. We can pull it up.
Let me pull it up.
To answer your question here, we are not using web, but I do have access to that, and I haven't played around with it yet, but I hear it's really good. And so I do plan on digging into it. I just haven't done it yet.
Let me get this. Mm, Let me see this. I'm trying to pull this up first. Let me see. I have to be signed in to do this crap.
We
Yeah.
also got another thing that I found, an email that I was sent by somebody else where uh, Epstein is they're talking about his boat and getting rid of it, and because of dead bodies, because they were getting rid of dead bodies with his boat.
They
So
reference a
that,
lot of dead bodies in these files, man.
yeah, these guys were definitely bad people. They were definitely unaliving a lot of people. Uh, and they should all be in jail. Honestly, just for the cover up. I was talking to Ali last night. Just for the cover up alone, not even mentioning all the stuff with the kids. Just the cover up alone should put these people in jail.
I agree on that, man. I agree. This stuff is just, there's like impunity, man, with impunity.
That alone is an amazing story. He was delayed because his wife
Go ahead
insisted
and put
that
it on
he
full
finally, after
screen.
years, take his child. That alone is an amazing story. He was delayed because his wife insisted that he finally, after years, take his child to school. So he took his child to school that one day, because normally he would have been in the building at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's that business, right? So you owe your wife a lot and your child a lot, right?
What a fortunate coincidence. Also, what was this laughter about? That is so weird. So what did Howard Lutnik, Trump's Secretary of Commerce, know about that fateful September day 25 years ago? And maybe more importantly, where did he learn of all that information? Let's start at the beginning. In 2001, Howard Lutnik was the CEO of a very powerful Wall Street firm called Cantor Fitzgerald, whose office was located on the 105th floor of One World Trade Center in New York City. And you sort of know what happened in September of that year. But Howard was not in the office that morning where 658 of his employees perished. He was taking his son, Kyle, to school, to his first day of kindergarten, as we've been told. Evidently, his wife insisted that he just had to do it.
That alone is an amazing story. He was delayed because his wife insisted that he finally, after years, take his child to school. So he took his child to school that one day, because normally he would have been in the building at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's that business, right? So you owe your wife a lot and your child a lot, right?
What a fortunate coincidence. Also, what was this laughter about? That is so weird. Just Howard being Howard.
Yeah, that laugh is
jolly
just
old
so
guy,
freaky.
or is he?
The head of Cantor Fitzgerald, Howard Lutnik, just happened to be out of the office that day that the terrorist struck. Mr. Lutnik was taking his son to his first day of kindergarten. Now he says he has a very different view of business and life. He spoke to our business correspondent, Terry Keenan, earlier today.
we are really focused on trying to make sure that our 700 families who lost a member of their family are taken care of. And so I spent the day yesterday and part of the day in talking to our insurance company. Our insurance company, CNA, told me that they would, they told our guys, they didn't tell me, and then they told me that that they were willing to treat this as an accidental death, which means that they would double the policy for all of my my victims upstairs and all of us. And so that added $35 million to that group upstairs. But the sad thing is, $35 million sounds like so much money. But if you divide it by 700 people, it's only $50,000. It's not enough.
It went into their pockets. Unfortunately, didn't even. None of these employees' families saw a dime of it.
Exactly.
Explain the needs of these young families. Many of your traders were just in their 30s.
We've got the average employee we have is around 33 years old.
33 years old. Probably just a coincidence that he threw that in there. I don't know. But the main point that I want to draw your attention to is that he said that the insurance company would pay
33.
But did that money really go to the victims? Well, we found out years later, decades later, that the $135 million settlement with American Airlines went to the firm, Cantor Fitzgerald, and its partners, not the families of the dead. At the time of the statement, Cantor CEO Howard Lutnik issued a statement, quote, for the insurance companies, this was just another case, just another settlement, but not for us. We could never and will never consider it ordinary. For us, there's just no way to describe this compromise with inapt words like ordinary, fair, or reasonable.
This isn't even the video, but this is one of the other
some of the
videos I
money,
wanted to show.
a lot of the money actually, for the firm and distributed the rest to themselves in proportion to their ownership stake. Lutnik, the firm's
This is the one I saw.
$25 million.
Yes.
So the dude kept the money. The guy who didn't go to work that September morning because his wife told him not to in order to take his son to school, something he supposedly never does, is not only alive, but tens of millions of dollars richer. And guess who Howard Lutnik just happened to live right next door to? Yep, Jeffrey Epstein. They were literal next door neighbors in Manhattan, 9 East 71st Street and 11
It's
East
a good
71st
video to
Street.
put
And this is where
everything in
things take an even darker turn.
I downloaded the other one. I'll play it in
Politics
a
and
second.
who might have known what prior to that fateful September morning.
When it comes to 9/11, it's pretty weird that two things are missing. The Epstein files from 1999 through 2001, and Howard Lutnik, our Secretary of Commerce. When it comes to Jeffrey Epstein and Howard Lutnik, they had a relationship.
That's good for now on this video. Let me play the other one now. Just to, it puts things in perspective so people understand, his implication in the 9/11 and his employees taking 10% of their salary, Let me play the other video now because I've downloaded it as well.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. The fact that is diabolical. The fact that they, that he, all those, he definitely clearly had foreknowledge of 9/11 because he just happened to not be there, happened to be taking his kids to school that day when he never does that. And then on top of that, when the insurance payout comes, him and his buddies all pocket the money instead of giving it to the families. I mean, that's just diabolical.
It is, man. It is. It's pretty crazy, man.
Someone else just said it wasn't even his son's first day of kindergarten in the chat. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's crazy.
You're right, because it's in September. School doesn't start in September. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Actually, yeah.
School does not start in September. That's it's funny as hell, man. Like the stuff they're trying to just jam down.
Yeah, school. School has always started either right before Labor Day or like the day or two after Labor Day. So it would have been on like the 1st or the 3rd of September at the latest. It would not have been the 11th.
Bullseye, man. It's crazy, dude. The whole thing is crazy. I looked into
and
it.
Yes, 33 is 100% Freemason.
Yep, that's true too. With the Charlie Kirk assassination as well, you saw 33 everywhere, man. The shirts, the hats, the symbolism, everything. And the time. It took 33. How many 33 hours to find the shooter, they claim? 33 hours. Isn't that insane?
They just throw it in our face, man.
I uploaded the video. I think you got to approve it for it to play. Is it showing up?
Howard Lutnik needs to go to jail. Not only is he all over the Epstein files, he has now just been exposed for massive insider trading. So today, the Supreme Court struck down Trump's tariffs. But guess what? Howard Lutnik's family firm bought up the rights to tariff refunds for 20 to 30 cents on the dollar last year. Meaning they bet against the tariffs being legal, even though he was out there reassuring the public that the Supreme Court would side with Trump.
What do you think? How do you think they're leaning?
Well, I think they're leaning toward the president. So what happened is General Sauer, our Solicitor General, was out first, and the justices were tough. Let's say they were asking them tough questions. But when the other side got up, wow, it was very, very strong. And so I left very upbeat and very positive. And I think these justices are going to come down in favor of the president's powers.
This was just a few days ago he said this. Now, estimates are saying that the Lutnik family windfall could be into the billions of dollars. I think Andrew Schultz sums it up quite well. He says, quote, "This is the Epstein class playbook 101. Fund both sides of the war and policy. Disgraceful. They have no love or loyalty to America. We are simply a vessel for them to exploit for their own enrichment. If we want Americans to have faith in our institutions, the Epstein class must receive the highest punishment of the law imaginable."
Man, insane, bro. This is just insane.
Yeah, man. Like the fact that Lutnik is out there betting against Trump while he's openly saying, "Oh yeah, the tariffs are legal. The tariffs are legal. You know, they're going to vote for it. We support the tariffs," and he's pretending to be Trump's buddy, and yet he's out here voting against, betting against him.
And what makes this more crazy is they admit to this in the emails between, what Epstein says, how they, we play the people, we do this, we play both sides. They admit to it too. So not only do you have them admitting to it, you have the evidence of them committing it. I pulled up that PDF. If you want to, I'll pull that up real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, this right here is just so incriminating, man. Look what this. Look, you can find the document if you guys want to go try to find it. It's right here. That's the number. It's not gonna pop up though. I already tried a few times, and every time I search it up in data cab 10, it's just not showing up in there. This was the
So
the day I saw this. Go ahead.
This is one of the ones they deleted, right? That once they deleted the files and they put it back, but this is one of the ones they took out.
Exactly. And man, that day, I'm telling you, it was about 4 days, 5 days straight. Nothing in data cap 10 was pulling up, literally. And I was just heartbroken. I was like, what's going on? And then literally right last night, because I'm telling you, I've been checking this thing every single day, for 3 days straight. And then the majority of those files ended up popping back up yesterday night. So, I was up all night. I was up to like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. just looking through all them files again, trying to find some new stuff. And it looks like they shifted a lot of things around. So let's get started on this. This is the most important one because this, I believe, is one of his employees. Look what it says. Title: Alleged money laundering by Howard Lutnik via BGC Financial and Cantor Fitzgerald. And it even ties into child trafficking. This is what they I guess in their case records, they tied it to the Jeffrey Epstein child trafficking document synopsis. Look what it says. All right, let's get started. Blank provided the following information. Calling from blank, previously worked for blank and Cantor Fitzgerald in the financial market, was responsible for reviewing, reporting, and compliance for all of North America. Blank uncovered fraud, money laundering, Ponzi schemes, and regulatory breaches by blank and CF, which is Cantor Fitzgerald. So he can become a whistleblower. And CF received large fines. There are live cases still occurring in the United Kingdom. Further investigations by Blank linked Howard Lutnik to illegal activities with JP Morgan, Russian hedge funds, and other senior executives in the financial businesses. Blank has documented proof. So they have proof. The DOJ has the proof on this. And they just shut the case. The case is it shows from 2001, 2002, or 2021, 2022. So we'll go ahead. Look, it has documented proof. They don't show the name, obviously. It has documented proof.
The good old boy network, man. They all protect their own. Even back then.
Exactly. And look at this. Has documented proof show money laundering, Ponzi schemes by Lutnik via offshore shell companies, liquid funding, and real estate brokerage firms. Blank is using global Ponzi share scheme involving over 3,500 BGC employees who are forced to contribute 10% of their earnings into the scheme. So imagine, wouldn't it make sense?
Forced. On top of that, the fact that it's forced, it should tell you something right there. But go ahead.
Exactly, and look at this. He like 3,500 BC, and remember he said 4,000 employees died in his on September 11th, who are forced to contribute 10% of their earnings into the scheme. This is after I read that, I just lost my mind. I couldn't believe it, man. It's not a coincidence. There are no such thing as coincidence.
Yeah, so basically, he was taking 10% of all his employees' checks, and then when they died in 9/11, he pocketed all that money too. So besides stealing the insurance money, he also pocketed all the money that he was holding for them, allegedly in this escrow account
Bullseye.
that was supposed to be their money.
Exactly, man, and it just fits like it fits so perfectly like a puzzle. You know what I'm saying? There's the after 9/11, and he mentions the 4,000 employees at the payout. You know, do this. Look at this. Lutnik is deeply rooted in the royal family and has multiple high-profile celebrity connections. Lutnik claims to be a philanthropist, but is merely using his charities as a smokescreen for his illegal activity. Many of the individuals involved in Lutnik's charities have criminal breaches against them. Blank
And by
believes
the
he's
way,
Go ahead.
that's the same thing Turning Point is trying to set up now. That's what they're doing.
Exactly.
That's what Tyler Boyer is trying to do. They're trying to set it up in this exact same way.
It's their MO. It's their MO, Colin. This is what they all do, man. This is what they all do. Every single one
I've
of them.
noticed that every single one of them, they use these charities as a way to launder money, as a way to the shell companies. They all do the exact same thing.
And look at this. Blank believes he is supporting documents which could link Lutnik to Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell and Sarah Ferguson, a royal family member, host events called La Dolce Vita parties, where high-profile celebrities and executives contribute large donations to attend. The donations are linked to causes involving children. Lutnik made huge donations to these events. Epstein also sold Lutnik a house for $10 million through a trust fund, which was then sold for millions shortly prior to the money going overseas. Blank stated has multiple regulatory reporting documents he can provide to an agent to substantiate these claims. Blank would like to speak to an agent to better and thoroughly outline, tie everything together. So this guy like had everything, man.
Yeah, exactly. And about the children thing, any money, just remember that any money they say they're putting towards children's causes, what they really mean are child trafficking, not anti-child trafficking, not to protect children, but specifically so they can traffic children and turn them into their sex slaves. That's exactly what they're doing.
Exactly. This is insane stuff. And look, in addition, Blank believes it's suspicious Lutniks contributed over $65 million to Haverford College in New York, although he cannot prove any illegal activity concerning this aspect. Data queries, it tells you, gives you a bunch of random information. Yes, a Sentinel and Guardian query for Lutnik revealed 26 results in the New York Division case files, including restricted closed case. Do you see that? Including restricted closed case. So they obviously have other stuff on them, even the higher ups have no access to. In the serial number 204 concerning money laundering and control file case, it gives you all the case numbers and everything. Look at this. Concerning a RICO violation real estate scheme. And like, look at this.
That's wild.
A Div's query for Howard Lutnik revealed 34 results, including 3 SARs in addition to the aforementioned case files. Sentinel Guard revealed a single result for case number USPS mail serial number 991 concerning a complaint of illegal billing practices made by Blank. A Divis query revealed no additional derogatory information. Man, like this file, I couldn't believe it, man. This guy has all the evidence. And the DOJ and all the departments, which I believe the FBI is obviously compromised, especially, because I'm going to show you in a few minutes how they were trying to edit Jeffrey Epstein's name on the messages. Like, there's nobody else on the chat. It's 2 people. It's Jeffrey Epstein every time. He even has pictures of himself when they try to redact his name. So obviously somebody in the department had access to these files to try to cover up even for Epstein.
Yeah, the FBI has always been corrupt. It's still corrupt even under Trump. But the fact that's one of the things, that's what I put in the title, is the fact that, this is so damning that they actually redacted Epstein's own name in the files. They were only supposed to, by law, they were only allowed to mandate, they were only allowed to redact victims' names. And what did they do? They redacted Trump's name, they redacted all their buddies' names, and now we find out they actually redacted Epstein's name as well. Come on.
Look at this. The stuff is insane. Let me pull up that conversation. I want to pull up the what do you call it? Where is it? Man, I have just so many stuff I want to cover. I don't know if we're going to be able to go through all of it, but this information, even the Lolita, I don't know if you know the Lolita, where he got that name from. Do you know the origin of that Lolita name, where that origin came from? Like, this guy was like a pedophile from day one.
I know that Lolita has always has been a name for it's what pedos use as an underage, for, like when they're searching stuff online, they look for, young Lolita or, Lolita bikini, whatever. So
Yeah,
that's been like a
there's actually
term for
code
underage
words.
girl to not try to get to not try to raise flags to them searching for that. So I know that that's something. So I know where he got it from. That the fact that he names it Lolita Express or whatever specifically tells me for sure that he was a
I'm gonna give you a
PDF
little
file.
synopsis because through the files nonstop, he has this book called Lolita. This book is I shared a page with you real quick if you want to bring it up for the fans. Let me right here. Okay, Lolita is he in his all those documents. You see a picture of this book over like 30 times, 40 times. He has obsession with this book. Lolita is a 1955 novel written by Russian-American novelist Vladimir Nabokov. The protagonist and narrator is a French literature professor who moves to New England and writes under the pseudonym Humbert Humbert. He details his obsession and victimization of a 12-year-old girl named Dolores Hayes, whom he describes as a nymphette. Humbert kidnaps and sexually abuses Dolores, who, after becoming her stepfather, privately he calls her Lolita. And he has obsession with this book. He has a full-on obsession with this book. It's insane. This guy is
Well,
just nuts.
he has a full-on obsession with Lolitas in general.
Exactly, and that's where he named his, he named his plane Lolita Express and all that crazy stuff. Man, once I read that, I was like, man, I'm not like you're not surprised. You're not surprised one bit, It's just like, oh, okay, I already know this information, kind of. Let me put up some other stuff. Let me pull up the more important stuff now. Let me get here to the conversations because the conversations really highlight everything. Let me pull it up. Where is it? Let me get the one where I'm gonna show
Thanks,
you this
Sean.
guy.
Yeah, I'll give you guys an update on my dad at the end of the stream here. But I appreciate all the love and support. The link, if you do want to donate to the fundraiser, if you can't donate, you can just share it. That helps too. But that's pinned in the chat as well. But I'll give you guys an update on the end on that.
Like look at this. This is insane. Let me pull up this first one because this obviously everybody knows who they're talking about in this. And this is an example of how they actually block out Epstein's name out of all the documents. They try to, I'm telling you, that's why they remove these documents. The incriminating stuff in here is out of this world. Literally, let me pull that up.
Yeah, you were telling me that the text messages and the Skype messages were some of the most damning out of
They're
everything,
insane.
right?
This right here, this guy, Borg Grundy. This guy. Let me show you who this guy is. This guy's, he's not no bum, man. These guys are
Can you
some
make
high
it any
profile
bigger?
figures.
Can you zoom in a little bit or no?
I'm gonna zoom in for you 1 second. I just want to search his name up first. Is that better? All right. And let me just put people in perspective on who these powerful people are. Like this guy had nonstop access to everybody, whoever he wanted, when he wanted. Like and look at this conversation. I'll show you who the guy they're speaking to now. And look at this. Dear Jeff, thanks for an interesting dinner on Thursday. Good food for thought. You're a brilliant host. Warmly Borg. Look at this. Back in Geneva. Both Bannon, Leon, and obviously Leon Black. Everyone knows who Leon Black is, the rapist guy that owns that Shutterfly company, who was has pictures of little kids in schools. Even my kids' school, they use Shutterfly enough. I spoke to the teacher about that.
Life Touch is another one. I did a story a little while back where Life Touch, where they keep a database of these files, and we're using it for to pretty much to jerk off to.
Exactly, man. That stuff is just ridiculous, man. It's crazy how they have somebody who's that with that type of profile running companies like that. They should just keep them away from kids, man. Even if they suspect something, like I don't know, man. It's scary, man. Especially if you have kids.
Even my pictures were taken, as a kid through that Life Touch and stuff. And
both.
The fact that that all these pictures are put in a database and given access to all these PDF files to literally, like I said, to whack off to is just scary. I mean, it's disgusting,
scary,
and
especially if you have kids, bro. Like Like, look at
These
this.
people all need. Honestly, we need to bring back capital punishment.
I completely agree, man. It's capital punishment or frontier justice. That's what I like to call it, frontier justice. And look at this. Both Bannon, Leon, and I were very impressed with you. Look at the names. We don't know who this is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, look at this. They redact. This is Epstein's email. I've seen it on multiple other, it usually has his email or his Skype name that he was using. So they try to like redact it.
This. By the way, this is the proof right here that they have redacted Epstein's own name from these emails. Do you guys realize how freaking insane that is, and how illegal that is, and how much they're caught with their hand in a cookie jar here? I mean, this is just, whoever did this needs to be in jail. This is
Sometimes they'll have doubles. They'll have doubles of these. So they'll have one conversation, that's redacted, and then a copy of it, the same exact conversation without it being redacted. You get to see his name, like, oh, okay. And one of them, his name is redacted. I'm about to show you when Jeffrey Epstein got gonorrhea. His name is redacted, but you see selfies of him sending his picture of his body and his face to the doctor, telling him, man, look at these lines all over my body. And these, nobody's presented these anywhere. I looked, and when I found out about it, I went nuts, because there's other photos of him showing his lip, which was also from the gonorrhea, because he got gonorrhea like 3-4 times. This
Not
guy's
surprising.
a sick human.
Yeah. The only thing is he's messing with these underage girls, and that means he's given all these ST. And by the way, there's multiple reports from these victims that say that they got STDs because of Epstein as well, too.
It is. That's so true. It's true, man. Even Google knows. If you search about it, they tell you he got syphilis. He got this. He got to tell you like every type of illness he got. And look at this. This guy, Burge Brendy. Look how they talk. Like they're best pals. Look at this. I'm in Paris all week. If you're there, it would be fun. But are you in Geneva in full week? Join Terj and myself for dinner in Geneva Thursday, 5th time. Look, decide to and look at this pilot. They sent pictures like missing you, sir. It's nuts, man. It's insane. You have a picture of Steve Bannon, Borg. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you who the guy is. And look, unfortunately, not Geneva, Copenhagen, and Sofia. I wish Paris. And look, like, dude, everything's look. And look, the competition. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Look, chaired a meeting of Council of Ministers in which he decides the following: 100% ownership of international investors for companies in the country, 10-year residence visas for investors, 10 years of residency for specialists of doctors, engineers, and others, and 10-year residency outstanding students. His Highness added UAE will always remain an incubator for innovators and investors destination. And obviously he's referencing Israel too, because majority of their contracts UAE has is with Israel, and they do a lot of trading and stuff too. And then look at this. And I'm gonna show you who this guy is. You can reference this if you guys want to reference this. You can look it up. I don't know if it's still available. There's a lot of stuff they took out. I searched a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff they're sorting them out too, so they're moving to different data sets. But it is right here if you guys want to look it up. Let me just show you who this guy Borg Brendy is, and so you guys get an idea of these powerful people and who they're actually bringing. They're talking nonchalantly, with kings, like monarchies, like it's their next door neighbor. They just go and visit them, talk to them. Look at this. This guy's.
And I tell you what, I'm happy that they arrested Andrew, Prince Andrew or whatever. But
evil bastard, man.
But I'm not. One of the things that pissed me off. Yes, I'm happy something positive has come from the the release of these files. But it bothers me though that they're not getting him on all the child stuff. They're getting him on pretty much giving state secrets away, which is
I agree. You're right. It is. I mean,
he should be charged for.
There should be an international court for these type of crimes, man. I really believe there should be an international court for these type of crimes. Plain and simple. I'm tired of these people evading. I added the page so you can pull it up so people can see who I'm talking about. And the guy they're referencing is this guy. He's the former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Norway. Like, they just call these guys, majority of these people, they put into power. They support them and they get them in power because, they're on board with everything they do. And these are some very powerful people. Like the World Economic Forum, they just call them out of nowhere, call them like their best pals, and they just meet up you know, and there's no way you cannot be, you know, you can be just a
They
civilian.
place, yeah. I mean, like Trump, what he's trying to do with his little peace board right now, board of peace or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's making himself the president of it, to where he has power to bring in countries and to boot countries from it, all unilaterally by himself for the rest of his life, even when he's not president. I mean, that's what these people do. Is that they like the UN, all these things. They're all it is it's a network of their buddies, and they put whoever in they want to get what they want done to help enrich themselves.
Exactly, man. And look at this. This is another crazy bombshell right here. Like, look at the type of message this guy gets. Like, look at this. And this approval goes through him. Like this is insane. Pull that window up real quick, Con. Look what it says right here. Look at this. And you know, some of the messages, I don't know if it's directly to Epstein or it's being forwarded between him and somebody who's very powerful. Look at this message between him and son. Yes, I've been thinking about this as well. Both heads of the UN Geneva and Vienna office will be appointed this year. Need to find out if decisions about names have been made. What? Like, this is between them. Do you understand what I'm saying? These are like powerful elites making these decisions. That's who appoints. That's how that lady in the UAE that was trafficking her little sister, you know, ended up getting you know, getting into the UN and getting into these organizations. You know, they sacrifice their siblings, their family, their kids to these people to get into these powerful positions. It's made very evident. That
They
lady in the
sell their
UAE,
soul to the devil.
exactly. You know, that's them letting the powerful, you know, the powerful placeholder, letting them know that, you know, I'm on board with you. You know, look, I'm doing this for you. It's like a sacrifice. You know, back in the days, they used to do sacrifice. This is the same thing. It's technically like devil worship, man. It's satanic. There's a bunch of more stuff. Let me see the. Man, they do make some funny jokes in some of these emails, man. I found it pretty funny in some of this, but man, it's just insane. Let me pull up the rest of the stuff. What other important stuff is there? There's like, man, I don't even know where to begin. Yeah, man, there's like investigative elements in here too. Like some of the investigations they were around the agents and stuff. They upload those documents in there as well. So let me show you some of these research, because this involves another. Nobody has mentioned this anywhere. I looked everywhere, all over the news. I have not seen a single. You know, the guy has been charged with other fraud and stuff. This guy's like a member of parliament inside of Australia, and this guy was also involved. He was also trafficking some of the victims that Epstein was technically trafficking. And these guys are all a part of the same connection. They're all. This is just a massive network. These guys all know each other. They know who traffics. Now let me pull this document up. This one's insane. And this guy, I believe, is still in office. This guy is still in office in Australia. You can look him up. His name is Fraser Ellis. And this victim was being trafficked when she was like 9 or 10 years old, I believe. Let me pull it up so I don't get any details wrong on this. But man, I read through this whole entire thing. It's a pretty long document. So there's a lot of stuff on here. And look at this. My name is Blank. I'm a resident of South Australia. I'm contacting you as a victim of Maxwell and Epstein and connected individuals involved and connected in the case of sexual abuse rings and grooming girls for people in prominent positions, involving government sources in very prominent positions, including co-conspirators. I have been targeted victim in Australia since the age of 14, and I'm currently self-isolating for my own protection from sexual targeting and conspired attempts on my life through medical industries and individuals involved, including police sources. And this is just insane. I have been denied investigations and assistance for 9 years. I have all documented evidence of the crimes that have been committed against me, which includes destruction of my career over a 30-year period of fraudulent activity, money laundering, sexual targeting involving grooming, direct targeting by Maxwell involving grooming, police targeting, and government sources involvement in conspired attempts on my life by medication under falsified diagnosis. And we've seen this happen all the time. That's their MO. You know, oh, you're crazy, you're sick, you need medications. You know, and some of those victims report being drugged too. I have a bombshell.
Honestly, that's what they do. Is they discredit you by trying to say that you're crazy, that you're mentally ill. I mean, we see that's what they're trying to do to Candace right now.
Exactly. And they want to put him on drugs. Like, remember the Kanye situation? They tried to get this guy on psych meds, and it kind of threw him over the edge,
Exactly, they
man.
did it to him too.
And look at this.
So honestly, that's something that they do too. Is they try, not only do they try to make you look crazy in the court of public opinion, but they also try to actually drive you crazy as well.
Exactly. Exactly. And man, like this, I read through this whole entire thing. The information in here is insane. Look, I am I am will to submit all evidence in my possession which connects the crimes of Maxwell Epstein to America, Australia, France, Russia, and the Commonwealth. I have attached some documented evidence in my possession. I can be in contact by email. I'm currently residing in Kadena in my parents' house, basically in hiding and still under threat. I would appreciate urgent assistance. And look at this. This is the person who wrote. I believe this is a detective that noted all this. And look at this. Right, evidence of victim's possession to support the details provided in contact received from Adam Epstein email in 2010. Logo designed by targeted victim. But they're making shell companies too in these different countries. That's how they run these operations, Colin. You know what I'm saying? She shows in their image, how like the
Oh, big
logos that
time.
in the Epstein. Like, look at this. I don't know if this is the detective, but they did some amazing work. And look at this. They highlight everything. They had everything circled, confirmed, matching, linking. And look at this. This is how the victim links the actual what do you call it? And look at this, Maxwell. She sends the emails that she's been having between them too as well, and the company, because I believe Maxwell was emailing her through one of her company emails, and that's what the victim uses. And look at this, man. Look, that's so cool about IVF, hon. I hope it really gets your hopes and dreams this time. Look at this. Fake identity. Look at this. Passport Epstein. Fake identity. She even highlights the Epstein, how they recently discovered in the documents his false passports. He has multiple different passports. And where is it? Let me show you this. The main part is the prime minister or the member of parliament that was involved. Look at this. They have all the receipts in here. If anybody wants to search these documents up, look up this number. It'll pull it up for all of them, and you can take a look at it yourself. Look at this. Confirmed Ellis family connected to Epstein. Sex abuse ring. Google search Giles Ellis, Kadena, brother of Fraser Ellis, member of parliament. And look at this.
And when was that? When was the date of this?
I believe the investigations and stuff were like 2000, like recent, within the past few years. But these go back to like 2009, 10.
So
The actual
basically,
case.
they were investigating it, but I guess when Trump got in there, then they killed the investigation. That's what
Exactly.
it looks like.
Technically, that's what it looks like on all this. You know how Trump is just, I've been exonerated. The fucking asshole has his name
His
is
name's a
He's in the
exactly. His
center
name
of all
appears more
this.
than anybody, and he's
He's just
I've been
trying to gaslight.
exonerated. Exactly.
Man, it's insane. Like it gets in, bro. This whole document, like I sat there for 2 hours reading this. Like, look at this. Fraser Ellis, member of parliament system, sent on request by targeted victim. Like the person knew his email too, like everything, and they've been in contact. Dude, this thing was just insane. I read through this whole entire thing, like I was blown away. I was like, they have all this evidence and nobody made a move. And I realized, these guys are just in power. They're just doing, they have text messages. They have text message. She has messages of the doctors that were trying to put her on meds that were involved in this. Man, I'm like this is one of the main. There's so much other stuff I want to show you. Let me show you one of the other crazy cases that happened. Like they full on pulled the lady off the street, raped her, and just sent her on her way. Like nothing happened. And when people stay quiet, obviously from being embarrassed and stuff, it really hurts everybody, man. And the shame, man, I feel, I feel a lot of sympathy towards all these victims, man. Some of these girls and they just didn't know. This time they didn't know better. They just fell into a situation and they fell in the trap.
Yeah, I don't blame them at all. They were taken advantage of. They were young, they were impressionable, and they were
It's
taken
sad.
advantage of by people that were very manipulative and were a lot older than them. And these girls thought that they could be trusted. And then once they're in that situation, it's kind of hard to get
Yeah,
out of
now
it, you know?
exactly. This is one of those situations, man. I like my heart was broken after I read this. This is why I saved this document, man. This one is really, really, really screwed up. I'm just gonna give a brief synopsis because it's actually it's not that long. Look at this date of birth, and look at this girl's age. Wait, Date of birth, blank, blank. On July 14, 2020, was interviewed by telephone via blank. After being advised of the identity of the interviewing task force officer and the nature of the interview, blank provided the following information. Stated that during the summer of 1992, she was 17 years of age and visiting New York. Blank, while walking, was in Central Park, approached a woman walking dogs in the park. Further stated she had a passion for dogs, and during the conversation with the woman, she offered a job walking the dogs for $20. Stated that the woman in question, Ghislaine Maxwell, stated to Maxwell she was only visiting New York on vacation. She said she exchanged phone numbers with Maxwell. Within days or so, headed to Jeffrey Epstein's residence on 71st Street off Madison Avenue, Manhattan, for blank, and believed was a job interview dog walker. While waiting inside the Epstein residence for the interview to start, Maxwell offered blank a drink, orange juice. Went to state that after she drank the orange juice provided by Maxwell, she felt dizzy and groggy. Stated that at the point, Epstein told her blank to relax and the interview would start soon. Blank stated a short time later she helped by Maxwell, an unknown female housekeeper, to a bedroom and placed on bed. Stated that when she woke up in the bedroom, unknown length of time, she blank was experiencing vaginal bleeding and burning sensation from her vaginal area. And look at this. Further stated at the point, Maxwell, an unknown housekeeper, helped her blank to shower and bath, and also stated that both Maxwell and unknown housekeeper stated that she blank became sick to lay down. Stated she received manila envelope from Maxwell that contained $300 in addition to the original $20 agreed upon. Blank further stated she did not tell any of her family members of aforementioned events as she thought her mother would be very angry, as in her family's culture. Thai. Do you see that, Colin? She's Thai.
That's
Remember the history
insane.
in Israel, what they do to Thai people and Thai workers, what the percentage of rape. Do you understand what I'm saying? They victimize people by their profile. If they're minority,
absolutely.
they victimize them. This is a perfect example of a perpetrator, and what these type of
She targeted Maxwell, specifically targeted that girl for her race, for her age, because she was young and impressionable, and got her there under the guise of a dog walking job, only to, when they get her in the house, they drug her. Then when she passes out, they grape her, and then they try to pay her off afterwards and tell her, go along your way. Only $300. Go along your way.
They also know that, if it's an immigrant or somebody who's, like a foreign nationality or minority, it won't be looked at as much as
exactly. They're a lot, and also they're a lot less likely to go to the police because they don't want to mess up their immigration status, or they may be illegal.
Exactly.
And
you're right.
Are afraid that they will get deported if they come forward. So believe me, they intentionally are targeting these people, and that's one of the reasons why they use like Erica Kirk to get these girls from overseas, from like Romania and stuff.
Bullseye. And man, like, I was just heartbroken. Look how long she kept the story in before she came forward on this. Your camera's frozen, by the way, Colin. Look, went on to inform the author approximately 8 months after the aforementioned events, she had a doctor's visit to receive a hepatitis shot, yet was nervous and embarrassed to mention the sexual experience to her doctor. Also stated none of the aforementioned events were reported to law enforcement out of fear or embarrassment. The author felt blank was being truthful and expressed a candor as well as verbally distressed. It sounded to have been traumatized. Blank further indicated that she has been seeking therapy in blank area to deal with aforementioned events documented in reports. Man, it's so sad. Imagine a woman having to live with this, with this type of event and experience, man. It's insane. Originally reported the above event incident to the NYPD Victims Division hotline on Monday, July 13, 2020. Logged as grape hotline. You back with us?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Sorry about that.
You're good, bro. You're good. Man, like, it's just sad, man, for somebody to have to go through that. I was really heartbroken for that girl, man. And every other victim that has to be put in this type of position.
Big
Man,
time.
let me go.
And I guarantee you, there are probably hundreds, if not thousands, of stories just like that girl's story that we probably will never know.
Never know,
come
man.
forward.
Some of these girls, they do this to them and they just go into psychosis, man, from this kind of trauma, especially at a young age. They're never the same after. They are never the same after. Like there is so much stuff. There's a few other cases I want to go over before we deep. 1 second. This stuff is just incriminating stuff. I want to get into the financial stuff because not many people have been speaking about the financial aspects of these situations. Everybody's familiar with all this stuff, but the main thing, like the Rothschilds being mentioned in all this, not many of those emails and conversations are referenced, publicly. Where is it? Let me see some of these emails. Where is it? Where is it? Let me see. Let me see. Man, there's just so many information on here. Like even some of their information. Like, look, one of the Rothschilds' phone numbers, I actually found it in these documents. Like,
Yeah,
let me pull this up. They don't cover their tracks very well with some of these.
The Rothschilds are heavily involved. They're the ones, honestly, they are one of the top people that were financing Epstein.
I believe they're behind everything. They're also behind Israel.
Absolutely.
They're technically funding, but when people don't put the pieces of this puzzle together, technically the Rothschilds are funding Jeffrey Epstein, in the background on behalf of Israel. You understand what I'm saying? They're using technically a CIA asset, to all in accordance and on account of Israel.
Yeah, I mean, Epstein was essentially because Israel was started. It was founded by the Rothschilds, and Epstein is basically a Rothschild's asset. The Rothschilds are one of the people that rule the world, and I
have a financial email here showing you them wiring 150 million euros. And this is just throw the stuff in here. It's
and as a matter of fact, the Bitcoin, the highest. There's a Bitcoin wallet which has the most Bitcoin ever. At one time, and it was found out to be that was
account.
It's connected to Epstein and Rothschilds.
Wow. Pull up this email real quick. Let me just show you. Like, this is the regular transactions, man. Like, look at this. Dear Lord Rothschild. Dear Lord Rothschild, I fully agree with you. In reference attached what seems to be the latest version of AOI of the company. The closest for me would be Article 11.3, which understands as Dave and Eric have to agree, but on contrary, if they do so, then the transaction can go through without impact on the name, i.e., stays is and no lose of Rothschild patronym. Let's assume they do want to add this to their bylaws. Then it means that the minute is change of control, not involving the family, then indeed is a de facto write-off of 150 million euros. Like, there's so many emails. There's if you want to see their holdings, I have some documents in there because listen, the Rothschild rabbit hole. There's a reason for decades they kept telling you that's just a conspiracy theory. The Rothschild is just a conspiracy theory. You know what I'm saying? But look at this. Look at all their holdings. This is just like in Europe and stuff. This is just in Europe. Look at their financial statements. It's insane. They technically control
anything that they want to. Oh, exactly. And that honestly, that's the main reason why that Trump invaded Venezuela was to overthrow them so he could install the Rothschilds banking the Rothschilds central banking players.
I believe that too. And there's also one more thing they're not telling you about Venezuela. The situation with Venezuela is Maduro was actually linked to the 2020 election. Those vote counting machines, the Count-O-Matic, whatever it's called, is actually made by a Venezuelan engineer. And the reason they kidnapped Maduro is, I guarantee you, I mean, I don't know if this information has been given to me from somebody who's been accurate on a lot of things. But mark my words, on March 17th, when Maduro stands in front of the judge, he's going to let them know that he was involved in the rigging, helping them rig the 2020 election. They're saying that Maduro was actually a CIA asset. He actually
he was. There's already evidence of that, and you're dead on that. He absolutely he's going to say that he participated in rigging the election,
and they're going to exonerate him.
And by the way, that's why I don't know if they have since put him in the jail since we exposed it. But when he came over here, he was not placed in any federal detention facility.
Exactly. Yes.
Maduro and his wife were not placed in any federal detention facility at all.
He's
They
probably
were
hanging out at the White House. Who knows?
Exactly. They're placed in
hanging out at the
some
White House.
lavish, posh, living it up like royalty instead of being treated like a prisoner, like they are.
Exactly, and that's why they're blowing up boats. They're technically in the background having back channels with Trump, and Trump is telling him, come do this, hand yourself over, we'll end this, and he refused. He also knows this is going to be the end of his presidential run because the Venezuelans aren't going to trust him after this. Nobody's going to trust him.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me pull this thing up right here. Let me show you this is what was in between the emails between Epstein, and it says strictly confidential. When I started searching up all these documents, I would search up specific words like strictly confidential. Look at this, private investment opportunity. And I don't believe this is some actual investment opportunity. I believe there's something else nefarious in the background with this document here. And look at this. Pull this up for us, Con. Look what it says. Edmund D. Rothschild, private banking, private investment opportunity. And look at this. It says he's strictly confidential. And look at this. Look at this. Look how big this property is, dude. Like, this is insane. Look at this. 28,000 square meters.
Where is that, by the way? Do we know where that is?
Britain, I believe. This is in Britain somewhere. It tells you here somewhere. I'm pretty confident this is in Britain somewhere. And, they solicit these. I don't think it's a property. I think it's something else they're selling here. You know what I'm saying? There's a few other emails like this, but look at this.
Yeah, potentially.
Property. There's no way somebody, how would you invest in a property like this? How would it make you any money? You know what I'm saying? And it's so strictly confidential. For what reason, though? Like, you see what I'm saying? There's so many other emails
potentially.
Here. Let me see. There's one more crazy email that links the actual, what do you call it? Where is it? Right, spyware. Let me see this one. Let me see which one it is. Man. Okay.
Oh, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein's ranch in New Mexico.
Yeah, the Zorro Ranch.
Yeah, I have credible sources that say there are tunnels underneath of that. And also, remember, I don't know if it's still shut down, but like a week ago, they shut down all the airspace over that area in New Mexico, over the airport there. Yeah. And they made it a complete no-fly zone. And my source tells me that it's the reason they did that. They said the reason that the official reason for doing it, they said, is an undisclosed national security threat.
What?
That's all they gave us. Undisclosed national security threat.
No way. When was this? What day was this exactly?
This was like a week ago, and they closed it, or I don't know, but they closed it. Supposedly, it was going to be closed for like 14 days or something like that.
Man, you know why, right? The new owner of the Zorro Ranch was doing some renovations on there.
Exactly.
I guarantee they were probably digging it. They didn't want people seeing what they're moving out of. They're probably bodies. Because they even had in the messages that they had bodies that were buried there.
Bingo.
Man,
exactly.
This is insane. That's crazy.
Because like I said, my source told me that the reason they did that was actually because of Epstein's ranch. So that the reason, like you said, and I put two and two together when they told me that, because of bodies. They don't want planes flying overhead that can see them digging up bodies.
That makes perfect sense, man. I mean, some of the stuff they mentioned, like the sulfuric acid barrels. Those sulfuric acid barrels weren't to dissolve bodies. Those sulfuric acid were for water treatment centers they has in those islands. Because on the island, the water treatment, in order for you to have flowing water inside your house and your property, you got to desalinate it. You got to run sulfuric acid to adjust the pH. So, I mean, there could have been other nefarious purposes.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I guarantee you there's double use. There's double use for them for sure.
I agree. But you know what? The majority of that, I know for a fact, is for those water salination. Because under the ground in that property over there, on the island, they have water treatment, miniature water treatment. You know what I'm saying? Systems there, massive ones. They got to have water across the whole island. And you know, some of the places he actually has animals. If you look at some of his ranch, I think Zorro Ranch actually had horses there that ended up dying. He didn't feed them or something, or the water pipes bursted, and the animals weren't able to eat. So you know, there's a lot of things going on there. But you know, that's one of the things. Let me pull up this
Oh, big
document right
time.
here. This one is crazy. This
Oh,
one's
and by the way,
insane.
this comment right here, Trump shits his pants because Sasha Baba O'Reilly kicked a tent pole up his arse.
It's the
and
assassination cover up of Erica Kirk and TP Jew.
that there actually is. So I first thought that this was like just fake, somebody fucking with me, but this actually is true. I've looked it up. You know, there's some truth to that. You know, there
Who's
are
Sasha
people that
Baba
say that
O'Reilly?
that's
I
what
gotta look
happened.
this up. That's
Yeah,
funny.
I don't. Yeah,
I'll look that up. I don't know who that is, but that's funny. All right, let me get to this. This one's a very important document. This shows you that even churches were operating in coordinates, even though there's no reference of this guy, Mr. Nissan, whatever his name is. Look at this. This document was crazy. This document was crazy. Look at this. This is bombshell right here. All right, Kenneth Daryl Turner. This is that agent who was also involved in a lot of other, and including the Wayne Williams. The ambassador to Mexico that molested a 11-year-old girl, you know what I mean, then got her pregnant and stuff. I know you know about that case, right, Colin? You there?
no, I haven't heard that one.
Okay, I'll pull that up in a second. But let me just show you this first part, and I'll pull up the other part. Look at this. In July or August 2018, Turner flew to his hometown, blank, contacted the FBI. This guy was a ex-Green Beret, an ex-military, this guy. And he worked like kind of on his own part with these trafficking cases. So, you know, he did it out of his own heart and stuff, kind of, you know. And he probably had obviously CIA connections in this too. And look at this. Contacted the FBI and provided all information he accumulated over 2000 to 2017 regarding sex trafficking with minors that involves ex-Marine SEAL commander Richard Markinko. This guy died like a few years ago in 2022, I believe, and he was implicated in all these crimes. He was found to be involved in trafficking and be involved on. We'll get to it in a second. An ex-U.S. ambassador in Mexico, Earl Wayne Anthony. Look at this. In April or May 2014, the American embassy in Mexico was raided by the Mexican federal police, where 107 citizens, employees, and contractors, including Anthony Wayne, were there. Turner said Ambassador Anthony left the country immediately. However, in 2015, Anthony was tried in absentia in Mexico. Turner reached out to the American embassy, but they refused to acknowledge what was going on. A month ago, Turner and the Mexican federal police found that what Turner calls a vault containing approximately 10,000 videos of minors from Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, and some white girls that later on were identified as they had been brought into Mexico Ranch from Southern Africa by now convicted and in Mexican prison, Mr. Nissan. And this guy, Nissan, look him up. I found like if you Google some of the allegations against Anthony, the ambassador, the Google and stuff will tell you, oh, they're not true. They won't say they're not true. They just say they're not substantiated. But when you actually Google articles about it, you find out that it was all true. It was all true 100%. It's just omitting some of the information for some odd reason.
You cannot trust the AI, especially now. They specifically are rigging the AI to say what they want. You're not getting the true facts. They're getting what they want you to believe. So you cannot trust a damn thing the AI tells you anymore.
And like, man, this thing is insane. Look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna pull up the actual case against this guy because they try to hide this case like crazy. I had to find this out, and I found this case out because I searched it up on on Google, because they spell the name wrong. They actually spell the name wrong there for this guy. Let me pull it up. Did it freeze? Where is it? Let me pull it up. We'll go back to this in a second. I just want to show you who this guy is so you can get an idea of how heinous. And this links it to all the other churches. All the other churches that are trafficking, you know, just like Erica Kirk and all the churches she's involved in and all that crazy stuff. It's all linked together, man. This isn't an isolated event. This is not an isolated event.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Look at this. I pulled up the winner right here. The guy's name is Nassan Juan Garcia, charged with racketeering and conspiracy, sex trafficking, you know, child exploitation, member of the La Luz del Mundo Church. And they operated in California, Colin. This isn't just in Mexico. This guy, this is why they indicted him. Look at him. Is a Mexican convicted offender, you know, religious leader who serves from prison as the third leader of the Las Luz del Mundo Church, succeeding his father Samuel Joaquin Flores, following his death in 2014 in a suspicious circumstances. You know, in June 2022, he pled guilty in California to 3 charges of abusing, and sentenced to 16 years to 8 months, which is so lenient. You know what I'm saying? For a guy who does this, and look what he was doing, was held on $50 million bail.
Yeah, that should have been a life sentence, honestly.
And listen, what's funny about this is they try to make it seem like it's some sort of isolated event. But you just read in those documents he was linked to a massive ring. You know, and they raided the embassy.
Absolutely,
And all these
Rico,
people.
man.
He transferred to North Carolina State Prison for evaluation to determine his placement with prison system. He was undergoing civil trial on, and look at this, civil charges on human trafficking and forced labor. A RICO suit named him. The organization called the Light of the World. His mother, his wife, his brother, many of the other leaders of the organization. Bro, this was insane. Look at this. In 2023, Joaquin was indicted by federal charge on relating to production of CP. You know, like, it's insane. Let's get back to the document, man. Sorry to go off track.
Honestly, the Operation Underground Railroad, that is actually just doing the same thing that in my opinion, they're doing the same thing and just haven't been caught doing it yet. But the Operation Underground Railroad is actually one of the biggest sex trafficking rings ever.
I believe it. I'm sure if I search that up, it'll pop up the first thing, you know. This kind of information right now, nowadays, just like,
and by the way, all these TPUSA people were connected to Operation Underground Railroad.
And all of Cabot has that pizza written on his lip. Man, that stuff is just so disgusting, man. Let's get back to the topic here, and look at this. And this is also why they killed Marcinko. No way a Navy SEAL or a Special Forces guy with this much experience and all this stuff was involved in this. And watch why they killed him. You'll find out exactly why they killed him. Colin, look at this. Videos of minors in Guatemala, this by, look, in Mexico, by South Africa, by now convicted in Mexican prison, Mr. Nissan, they say. Turner said that approximately a month ago in Mexico's Marcinko's secret location, sex tapes and videos were found with Jeffrey Epstein in it. Turner assumes Marcinko was probably going to use them to blackmail Epstein. That's why they killed that Marcinko guy. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh,
he was
bingo,
technically going to use it against the Epstein, and they're protected. And I'll show you why. I'll show you how I substantiate these claims too of how they why they killed him. Look, this Turner added the flight logs of Epstein coming in out of Mexico, going to the Virgin Islands to fly girls there. In 2005, Epstein flew to Mexico, landed in Cancun airport, stayed overnight, filled a tank, which is very rare because a flight back to Miami, you do not have to fill out your tank for just 1 hour and a half flight. Turner said that's the only time he cannot find where Epstein went afterwards. He's obviously, visiting some highly confidential place or something, or looking over one of his other, places.
And there are so many bodies. Epstein has so many bodies attached to him. Virginia Defray is one of them. Also, all the cops that went there and raided his place down in Florida, around Mar-a-Lago that day, and with the ones that took all those videos from the property, all the hidden videotapes, they've all died. Every single one of those cops have died.
What?
And
Are you serious?
It's like 12 of them, I think. But every single one of those cops died under suspicious circumstances.
I think you might be referencing the Wiener case, because that's what happened with the Wiener case. When they actually went through Wiener's laptop, that politician, all those police officers ended up dying, like 9 out of the 12 or something. I know what you're talking about, though. I mean, I got to look into that, but that is insane. I did not know that. That's insane.
Yeah,
and this kind of happens. It's like a normal thing that happens in all these cases. They just dispose even their own agents. But I'm going to show you in a second, because there's another part to this. This is not the first reference or what do you call it, or like deposition that Kenneth Turner did. There's one more I'll show you in a few minutes. cheeseburgers also code for something I've seen come up. Man, they use all types of terms. Look at this.
Yeah,
Turner
I've
added the
seen it
okay.
too.
Look, Turner has guessed when he clearly saw a very prominent figure from the United States in one of the videos. Turner said the American embassy is mad at him for what he is doing. Turner spoke with Mexican president and discussed with him findings. Turner said Mexican president gave him the go to contact the FBI and let them know he has this information. Turner said the what do you call it? The American embassy in Mexico does not want to admit they have agents in charge of investigating him. Turner knows what he is doing is very dangerous and that one of the partners' arm was cut off. Turner will be arriving. Look at this. Will be arriving in the United States on 8/13/2019 and will stay at the aforementioned address. Turner would appreciate if the FBI wants to contact him to please be mindful that his elderly mother-in-law lives with him and she would be very scared if the FBI agents in the premises. This is one of the reference. I'm gonna pull up that other reference for you for the other one about the shootouts and stuff. Look at this. Look. Where is it? Let me see this. I have it saved in my messages here. 1 second, so we don't have to scroll through here, man. Some of this stuff is just insane, bro. It is just insane. Where is it?
Honestly, it'll probably take us a year to go through all
To
these
go through all
Epstein
this,
files.
exactly, man. That's why
And
I'm trying
that's
to
just,
isolate
and it's
these.
not even all of them. You know, they haven't even released all the real good stuff. You know, they're still hiding
Yeah,
that
man.
stuff, including
That
all
I
the
can't.
videos. We know there's videos, there's pinhole cameras that were in every single room of Epstein's properties, both in New York, in down in Florida, and also in the island. So they
Exactly.
have videos of everything. So where are the videos? I mean, I can understand not releasing the actual, you know, CSAM stuff of them doing things to girls, but where's the rest of the videos? Where's them having all these incriminating conversations and stuff?
I can imagine what other stuff they have, Colin. I can imagine what other crazy stuff they have. I'm sure, like, okay, I got it pulled up right here. Let me pull this up for you to show you like how crazy these situations were. Like, man, they had, you know, this shows you they had moles inside the FBI that were trying to suppress these cases and that were killing these agents. You know, Kenneth Turner died, I believe, in 2024 or 2025. He died like a year ago. And I can guarantee it's probably from suspicious circumstances. Look at this.
Big time.
This is Kenneth Turner via email talking with another agent. Look, my task force is not affiliated with the intelligence community. You know, a lot of people saw this online because this went viral. But just so you know, just to show, you know, put it into perspective in correlation with the other document I found. Like, look at this. We have another serious incident since the American shot the trial judge in our child sex trafficking case here. You know, this also references those mass shootings, those random mass shootings they have where they end up killing somebody high profile, or you know, they try to, like, you know, do something to murder a guy and then make it look like a mass shooting and the guy died unexpectedly. You know, look what he says. We have another incident. American shot the trial judge in the sex trafficking. He and I both think this is the latest incident is tied to the fact that we reached out to your team, and your team knows we are talking to you. Anyone assigned from the NSA, CIA, or U.S. Department, please understand people's lives here are in jeopardy. Are you with us, Colin? Your camera, I think, is frozen.
It keeps doing this. This
You're
is
good.
ridiculous. I don't
I
know
just
what's
want to
going
make
on.
it
I'm
makes me
here
think that
though.
you're
Just go
frozen.
ahead.
All right, and we have 4 armed attacks against us. My partner was shot and shot and killed, and 2 wounded. Killed 2 and wounded 5 American agents to date. Numerous white American agents following us in vans assigned to the U.S. Embassy. Jorge was attacked and lost his arm. The president of Mexico is keenly aware of the case against Blank and other U.S. officials. This case we have here is most certainly connected to yours, and we have proof. Our case will bring a whole new dynamic to what you know. Look, this is the crazy part. Look what he references. The dynamic to what we know involved Princess Philip is a small fry compared to what we have uncovered. You may want to question the ex-ambassador to Mexico, Mr. Irwin, about his involvement with an underage girl when he attended and was arrested by federal police. We believe Blank and Epstein were involved to this party. Do you see how they just cover the names? You know, I wonder whose name is in there. I couldn't find one that was unredacted. And look at this. and it was held in Juarez, Mexico in 2014 at the U.S. Consul-controlled housing facility. Ask him how he knows. He was sentenced in Mexico in 2017 to life sentence for impregnating 11. Her son's DNA matches Wayne's 100%. He's allowing an ex-U.S. Marine to stand in place to serve his sentence in Mexico. Where else do you hear that? Where else does that sound familiar? Where you have somebody else take your position in prison, Colin, huh? Ghislaine Maxwell with those
Yeah,
weird pictures, Epstein with a fake body double. You know what I'm saying?
it's crazy
So,
that, you
so
know,
if,
and honestly, that doesn't happen except for, you know, these elites. You know, they're above the law,
exactly,
obviously.
exactly. Look at this. That was agreement worked out between our U.S. State Department and a judge in Mexico after a huge payoff. Mr. Anthony has an outstanding arrest warrant in Mexico for avoiding the sentence. His cell number is blank. You know, this guy, if this wasn't a true allegation, this guy wouldn't just have a cell phone number. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want to confirm that the phone you will be using has been swapped for malware and keyloggers. Who else? What country uses keyloggers and malware? Colin, you know what I'm saying? Let the viewers know this.
Israel.
Exactly. Who else puts Pegasus on all the politicians' phones in Mexico's? That's who actually gives the software to cartels to have a monopoly over the state and the government. They use spyware in Pegasus and stuff so they can use the cartels to overpower the government. It gives them leverage over controlling the country's economy and all the levers inside the political structure, you know? And man, like I was blown away when I read this. Like, you know, it's not hard for somebody to believe this after all the other crazy stuff you see, you know? It's crazy,
Big
Colin, man. There's
time.
so much. There's a few more things I want to show you that Jeffrey Epstein was also involved in child orphanages on the Virgin Islands. Nobody has been able to document this information yet, Colin. Nobody's pulled this
Wow.
up anywhere.
Yeah,
But look at this.
it didn't
I have
surprise me because we know he was involved with the orphanages that Erica were dealing with in Romania. So
exactly. So this links all of them together, man. This is after I saw this, I was like, it's not a surprise anymore with anything that's been happening. But let me pull it up. Where is it? This one was kind of heartbreaking for me, man. They take advantage of these freaking orphanages, man. Let me see. Where is this document? I got the name of the thing here somewhere. Let me
you're
see.
not blocked, Angela. If you're not seeing anybody else talking, you might be in the wrong one. There are two chats open. There's a vertical stream for the shorts feed, and then there is the regular stream, the horizontal stream. And most of the people are going to be in the horizontal stream.
You know, I have one more other few things in regards to Jess Staley, the Barclays CEO. There's actually another FBI document emphasizing on the rape. Okay, Queen Louise Home for Children. I found it. Look at this. And this guy is the mayor of the town too, which is obviously, you know, like look at this check there. They're holding a big check there. I could never confirm who that check was from. And this check was for like $100,000. Like, look at this. I found this in the text message in the data cab 10. I don't know if you'll be able to find this, but look at this.
Can't zoom in enough to figure out who's
Yeah, even it's like
who's on
very
the
blurry.
check
You
or
can't
no.
see anything. It says USB something community support. Obviously, this has to be one of. I didn't look too. I mean, I couldn't really read it very well. My
Zoom
vision
it
is
in
pretty bad.
again. Oh, not that much. Go back
I'm
some.
sorry.
A little more. All right, let's go
USBI
to the left a little bit. All right, supporters of the Queen something house for children. Supporters
That's
of
the
the
name of the
Queen.
orphanage. That's the name of the orphanage.
Oh,
And this guy is the mayor of the city. This is in the Virgin Islands. This place, this little
gotcha.
orphanage is. I searched up. You can Google this place. It's on the Virgin Islands, obviously. Now look at this. Adrian's very card, and look at this. This was sent by Ken Mapp, who's like the actual mayor there or something, or the governor. So you know, there's involvement. There's some, and he doesn't message back or reply to this. This is in 2016. This was after the charges. There's a few more things. Where is it? The Just Staley complaint. It's insane because under this umbrella of all these Epstein files, everybody involved is also every single one of the allegations against them and reports made by people, is actually tied to this. Now look at this. Let me pull this up. This is Just Staley, the Barclays CEO guy. Look at this. Epstein, child sex trafficking. Look at this. An attorney serving as outside counsel for the Attorney General of Virgin Islands in civil matter against the Jeffrey Epstein estate contacted SSA regarding information obtained in the course of her investigation. 2 women, one located in New Jersey or New York City and one located elsewhere, have made accusations against Just Staley, the CEO of Barclays, grape. One of the 2 women believes that she spoke to the FBI with these accusations previously. Attorney Blank wanted to be sure that the FBI was aware of these accusations. In addition, during the course of investigation, they have seen information showing that Epstein's attorney and accountant were aware of the activities occurring and were helping in perpetrating the crimes being committed by covering them up. There's a more detailed one, but I don't think it's too graphic to pull up over here because it involved torture as well. So
yeah, that's the thing. We gotta be careful what we show on YouTube.
Exactly. So I'd rather not pull that one up. It's there's some fixing action going on here. Let me pull another one more document. I know it's been a while, so I think we should just I don't know if I should close it out here or just pull up a few more important ones. Did I pull up any conversation between Steve Bannon and Epstein yet? Have I pulled up any of those?
You pulled up something in the beginning. I don't think you pulled up the ones that you were talking about.
I didn't pull that one with Steve Bannon. Let me pull up
exactly
Steve Bannon so you guys can get a good idea of how the conversations are. Where is it? Okay, here's a good one. All right,
especially like the ones calling Trump stupid and stuff, Yeah,
here I think in this one too. I have like so many. Listen, majority of those messages are between Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein. They communicate nonstop. Like their correspondence is over a very long period, and it's some of it's day to day. Like, oh, let's go eat, let's go. Like these guys were best buddies. They're best buddies. It makes sense why
big time
was writing the biography for him,
And honestly, if he's that close to Epstein, you gotta assume that he's probably involved a PDF file as well.
I have a picture of him actually with a woman. I don't know who the woman is. Like I looked everywhere. I mean, there was another image of her that showed her with her face. I don't know why I didn't save it. I just I was going through because some of them are repeats. You know what I'm saying? We'll go over that in a sec. Let me just pull this up real quick. And look, they talk about some confidential stuff in this. Like, look at this. As Chomsky has asked for conditional dates, if you can, reminder, he's 88 years old. So these guys are like best buddies. They're all just hanging out and just like, doing things. Look at this. Why Jamal Khashoggi's disappearance will haunt Saudi government. Elliot Abrams. Look at Mohammed bin Zayed asked me to come over and see him ASAP, leaving in the morning. Like these guys were directly involved in the assassination and covering for these guys and mediating. It's wild to me. Look, if you want to go to Doha afterwards, let me know. Again, be careful. Look what he tells them. Not one of us tells them the truth. Not one of them tells the truth. No matter how much you would like to believe, your phones will need to be changed once you leave the area. Have your guys buy you one to use when you're there. There is no privacy, none. And this is Epstein telling Steve Bannon. He's advising him.
They're talking about how to hide evidence, and it's crazy.
Exactly. Look at this. MBZ would like to reincorporate the whole region back into one entity. Biz there is bad. Dubai on the decline, no matter what they tell you. However, he and HBJ are the only 2 left standing. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's also saying that they've had beef inside the power structure in the UAE. Why is the Dubai in decline? Look at them. He has very deep analysis on this. He's right about this. I know this as well. I knew this long ago about the UAE and how their structure was. It's just a petrol state. There's literally nothing else there.
And he knows all this because of Rothschilds because he's deeply involved, because he's an asset, because he's in the mix. These are the power players. This is the shadow government that I've been talking about that has been controlling basically the world. These are the globalists.
Exactly. And the way he represents it is he shows they're always in fear. They're always in fear of losing power. With the little power they have, like America gives them military, but in reality they're really just like cannon fodder. They just use them for their oil and all their stuff, and use them for their advantages, for the power, and that's all they use it for. Look at this, way overbuilt. Look what he tells them. Why is Dubai and Klein way overbuilt? They still owe money to MBZ, UAE, Big Hat, no cattle, no source of funds. Recall they don't have oil, not global players. MBZ play should be MBZ play should be to get a ceasefire in Yemen. Tough locally, but great for a rise to world class. If Salman has to remove the crown prince, vacuum time. Do you see what I'm saying? And Chomsky, thousands in Yemen go unnoticed. One journalist, world stops. This is why they also stopped allowing for years during the blockade on Yemen, when they starved, millions of children and stuff there. They weren't allowing journalists in, and it was for that same reason. It's not a coincidence. Look, he removes MBS, then you have chaos. Look, the stuff is insane they mentioned here. And this also shows you that to the intellectuals Epstein had access to, he was getting some very, very, very quantitative and qualitative analysis on some of the geography and the geopolitics. So he knew deep down, from the power players, what was going on all the time. He kind of like gossip. It's mostly kind of like gossip. You see how like he gives a breakdown of everything. I just found that fascinating. I'm good at analyzing and like doing like psychological analysis on some of these conversations. It gives you
I agree.
Look at this. Either Doha may be a problem for MH, and this is how typical most of their emails are. I want to see some of the Trump ones. I want to see like there's like, man, majority I'm telling you of my looking into these conversations was between Steve Bannon and Epstein, because you can tell Epstein was actually directing Steve Bannon. Technically, probably during all of the first what do you call it, Trump's election, he was advising Steve Bannon. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see how Steve Bannon didn't even know some of this information. So he was like giving him deep information. And look at this. This is even more crazy. This email, I gotta bounce this in there, because look at this. Epstein just takes people to the Google headquarters like it's nothing. Like, look at this. I don't know if you saw this email. Look at this. They get access to wherever they want, when they want, however they want. Like, look. I found this email to be fascinating.
Wild. Like all these people that try to claim they're not connected, never met it. Like it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. I know, and look at this. They were all in the same. Yeah.
It's all redacted. It's all redacted. Who else is on this conversation other than Jeffrey? You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, whoever redacted this information had access to these files before anybody did, and just started redacting Epstein's name to cover it up.
And there's no victims. This is not victims here. This is illegal. Like I said, they should all be in jail for this, because they specifically, the law states that they can only redact victims' names. So the fact that they're redacting all their buddies out of here, they should all be in jail. They're violating the law. And that's one of the things that bothers me. Like I said, I supported Trump. I voted for him 3 times. But he has definitely, since he's gotten in here, he's definitely flipped the switch, shown who he really is, or I don't know if he was really like this and hiding it the whole time, or whether he was just flipped the switch. But he is completely gone, full-blown globalist now, and he a dictator too. He's actually, I was like, when they were saying that, oh, Trump's acting like a dictator, he's a dictator. I was like, whatever. He's just always Democrat talking.
Trump has been a Mossad agent. I really believe Trump is a Mossad agent. Trump is the undercover Mossad agent. They use everybody as a Mossad agent.
I don't know if he's Mossad, but he's definitely. I don't think he's Mossad. I think he's above them. I think he controls them. I think
You're right.
Him and Rothstein were the Rothschilds were part of the.
I agree. The directing of Israel, I believe.
The shadow government. Yeah,
you're right. You're like, that's a perfect description. I use the umbrella of Mossad because it's in their network. Do you understand what I'm saying? All the stuff they do and the way he behaves.
Oh, big time.
He behaves undercover. Even though he is
My-
Mossad and he's fully dedicated to their structure, he also has a cover he has to keep inside the government. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why he hasn't attacked Iran yet. He understands there's going to be repercussions for these decisions. You know, he's going to lose complete support, no support, even the little 5%.
Well, no, he doesn't care. He does not care. They've gotten to the point now. The thing is, they've gotten to the point now where Trump does not care. He does
You're
not
right.
care.
They're making him walk the plank too.
He doesn't care about any of that. He, like, when they say dictator, they really mean it. Like,
I agree.
Everything he's doing is dictator. Like, he's trying to control everything without any checks and balances. He's trying to go around Congress, go around the Supreme Court, go around everything. On top of that, like, he's even disregarding court orders. He's disregarding the law when it comes to the Epstein by ordering the DOJ to redact people's names that are against the law.
I agree.
And I guarantee you, Trump is the one. I 100% guarantee you that Trump is the one that made the call of whose people's names get redacted and whose don't.
I agree on that. I completely agree because it is botched, just like everything else he does. You know, it says MO, man. And on top of that, like, I can tell from the way he. Go ahead.
There's one more thing too. I forget where I saw it, but I recently saw a video, like in the last couple of days, where Bongino, on Bongino's podcast, Bongino and Cash Patel were both on there recently on his podcast, and they were talking about how, you know, anything over level 5, so level 6, they would have to go to the president's desk, and Epstein was level 6. So that tells me, like, they admit right there that all the redactions and stuff had to be approved by the president.
Wow. So they actually mentioned that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Those two bums, Bongino and Cash Patel, are like the biggest disgrace in history, man. Those two guys are man.
Oh, complete disappointments. Complete
all the stuff they tried to sell people and all this, and then both of them are sitting in the corner in timeout with dunce hats now, you know?
Yep.
It's a disgrace, dude.
Although I will say Bongino was smart enough to get out of there. You know, he clearly wanted.
That's funny you mentioned that.
He wants to, like, he's okay with covering up for them. Yeah, he's okay with keeping quiet and you know, being loyal, but he's not okay with, I guess, doing the stuff they want him to do. That's why he stepped down and took a run for it. But Cash Patel 100% is absolutely just a dunce cap, a clown. You know, he just
exactly. And but you know, Bongino, you can tell he's a coward too. The way he just folded and just he resigned and I'm going back to my podcast. It shows you, man, he wasn't ready to play with the you know, he wasn't willing to sacrifice his life and put his life on the line for the truth.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It just shows you how cowardly these guys are, man. Even Cash Patel writing kids' books. I didn't expect anything from that bum to begin with, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. The book he made, like, his narcissist side is like over the moon, man. It's crazy.
Dude, he's like a fangirl. You know what I'm saying? He's like a fangirl. Oh, you know, like that kind of bullshit.
And I'm sorry, but his girlfriend 100% is a honeypot.
It is. He got played, man. She probably don't give him. She doesn't give any.
There's no way that a girl as beautiful as her would be with a guy like Cash Patel if it weren't for the fact that he has in the FBI very close to the president, so she can get information. I don't know who she's a honeypot for, whether it's for Russia or for Israel or who knows, but she's definitely a honeypot. I'm going to say probably Israel because of her connections to
the organization.
Yeah, the university or whatever. But
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So it's probably Israel, but regardless,
really it's not even questionable at this point. I knew right away she's a honeypot by Israel because I can't remember what the organization is called, man. They mention it many times. And TPUSA mentioned it a few times as well.
I know it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember the name of it.
I can't even either, man. It's literally there's too much other data.
I want to say Liberty University, but it's not Liberty University. It's that other one.
It's something else. I'll know the second I hear it right away.
The one Candace Owens used to work for them.
I know which one you're talking about. I just, man, I can't get it off.
It'll come to us. There's Prager. That's it. Prager.
Prager. Yep. Prager. Yep.
Bingo.
Bullseye. My man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Benko. Thank you. And man, look at this. This email right here. Look at this. This is the access they had. And oh, they're just covering up the name. And obviously they're covering up the name because the Google headquarters. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't want them affiliated, the two affiliated. So there's a corporate entity to these what do you call it? To these redactions too, because they don't want to hurt. See, majority of the references to people think their names, but they're actually companies or corporations that they don't want to incriminate them to as well. They probably have a lot of power. You understand what I'm saying? So now you're seeing the bigger picture. Look what it says. I really want to visit the Google headquarters soon. 22, 24th. I have school, but maybe during afternoon. Okay, we'll talk to mommy tonight and let you know. Whenever you want. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
I don't know. It's in the conversation for it to be a little kid. Do you understand? Sending them food, sending them this, like having these type of conversations. You know, I can't. It might be a family member or something. You understand what I'm saying? But yet again, who knows? Do you understand what I'm saying? You'd have some very personal talk in between them about mom, about dad, mom, uncle, cousin. You understand? But look at this. I know I'm constipated. Same place, Monaco tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. It looks to be like some kind of student or something, man. It's so weird, man. And we're almost about to hit the 2-hour mark. Let me see if I could find some more significant. Oh, okay. Where's this? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if there's any more important ones that we didn't cover that we can. There's a bunch of faces I wanted people to identify. And oh, here's another one. This is one of the main things I wanted to show you. This one was a schedule. This is Epstein's schedule. This schedule thing is insane. Look at this. This shows you how his typical meeting for a whole entire month and how he structured it. This was crazy. I thought this was fascinating. Most people won't find this intriguing or important, but I found this very important because he has a lot of names on here that he meets. But look at this. This is his scheduling. This is how his typical month was. Majority of my research on this, I want to see how his psychology was, how his real relationship, because they omit a lot of information. Because I wanted to understand the actual authenticity of some of these conversations. Who knows? There could be like a shadow conversation to try to you know what I'm saying? What do you call it? How do I put it? Omit information or give a different kind of perception on the relationship. But look at this. This highlights everything right here for you, Colin. Look at this. Go back to PBD today, Delta. This is part reminder. David Blaine screening of benefit breast cancer. David Blaine had a very good relationship with him. He was meeting him after the charges too, and he was meeting him on the island. He was advising him on stuff. And look at this.
Yeah,
This is
I wonder how guilty David Blaine is. Then he definitely,
I think
all these people, especially all the ones that were still connected with him and close to him after the conviction, they had to be in on it. They had
exactly.
That's how.
There's no way you can be associated with this person without being involved in the nefarious activities and behavior. Oh,
one
I'm
way or
going
the
to hang
other.
out
Either
and play
financially
Xbox with
involved,
Jeffrey Epstein.
exactly.
You know
You're
what I'm
either
saying?
financially involved or you're involved with the children stuff.
Exactly. There's no way I'm gonna meet. Look at the figures he meets, Colin. Like, look at this. David Blaine, on the 20th. Reminder, Blaine on the 20th. Appointment, David Mitchell. Appointment with Senator George Mitchell. Look at this. Fakai Salon with Pat. Look at this. I searched up a lot of these names. A lot of these names are very high profile. Colin, this isn't just your regular bum on the street. Oh, he's going to have dinner with his neighbor.
Big
No,
time.
look at this. Reminder to go to Seattle for her son's graduation. Look, this New Year's flight. Look, Tom Pritzker. Leon Black at Leon's office. Take glasses and ID.
Pritzker, Black, yeah. I mean, all these people, man.
Brad Karp, Paul Wise at Paul Wise. Look at this. Brad Karp at Paul Wise did it. Look at this. Boris.
And a lot of these people are people that are in Trump's orbit, which just once again goes to show you how close Trump and Epstein really were.
Exactly. Look at this. Mort Zuckerman. Like, dude, he's meeting. Look at this. Dr. Majani and Dean Bro. Like, it's crazy. The people, Leon Black, Woody, and Soon-Yi, which is you know what I'm saying, the poster boy of child love. You know, like look at this. He mentioned, look who else he mentions in here. Ehud Barak. He sees him so many times. Look at this. Larry Summers. J.E. to call Larry Summers. Like, you see this? And these people are just go about their day like nothing happened. And this is what date is this? Look at the date on this. This is 2013, after the charges, after everything, you know. Look at this. Meet with Ehud Barak and Leon Botstein. And he has a lot of these schedules. This isn't the only one. He has multiple schedules. Look at this. Larry to pick up Richard Branson from Necker Island and bring him to LSJ. Man, Cariana, like, and like you see a few of the personal things. You know what I'm saying? Like Cariana Cariana, whatever, to depart, and you see, you know, sisters coming to NYC weekend. You know, that's just like your typical stuff. You know, one more thing before we wrap it up, let me just show you one last redaction. This is proof and evidence that they are redacting Epstein's name from these documents. You know, they're actually, I found this to be insane because look at this. This is just a medical report too, because he's talking to a doctor. This doctor isn't even a medical doctor. This guy was like a optometrist or something. Let me pull up the documents real quick. Where is it?
So again, just so you guys all are aware, you know, when Congress voted to force the DOJ to release the Epstein files, part of that bill that they did was about redactions, and the only redactions that they were allowed to put in were specifically for victims. And we have proof that we already know that they redacted Trump's name a bunch of times. They redacted his buddies' names, but we also have proof that they redacted Epstein's name from these files, which there is in no way, shape, form about it. Epstein is a victim. He 100% is the suspect, is the worst person in the world. So, I mean, it's just, all these people need to be in jail. They're violating the law. They have no regard for the rule of law whatsoever, no regard for the Constitution, no regard for Congress, no regard for the will of the people. You know, we want these files released. We want justice. We want all these people held accountable, and we're not going to get it because of the people in power, and they think they are above the law.
Here, pull up that window. This is again. You also got to understand that the person who's redacting the names off these the contact, this is Epstein's email. This is a chat and Skype. I used Skype for years. Like 90% of my work was Skype. And technically, he would start a chat, but then when he used the chat on another device, you understand what I'm saying? You see him as another contact, because he'd be using another name. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it'd kind of be like a group chat. And this is the email he used to create the chat, and that's the other device he's using it on. Usually it would be like a phone or another computer somewhere else. You know what I mean? And look at this. Still outline of veins.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Same thing with StreamYard here. Like if I could open up a second window with my phone if I wanted to use. Yeah, absolutely. I got you.
And the reason they use Skype is end-to-end encryption. Do you understand what I'm saying? They know people aren't going to be listening. It's not like a cell phone. You can just tap these. And once you're in the chat, you know who's in there and who's not. And look what it says.
So hold on. Go back up to the top again. So obviously the name redacted, the first one redacted here under that A, that is Epstein.
Exactly. Yep. And that's the person sending the messages technically. And that's the person who made the group chat.
And we know that is Epstein because of the pictures that they are releasing. As he's about to get into, this is a conversation about his STDs and pictures he's sending the doctor.
And it's widely recognized that he had gonorrhea multiple times, and he gave it to multiple people as well. So you know, like it's known.
So
it's widely known.
Why would anybody other than Epstein be sending pictures of Epstein to Epstein's doctor?
Exactly. And look
just
at
so
this.
you guys know.
You see a picture of his face. There's more emails. This is just the main one because this is where they actually find the diagnosis. There's like 3, 4 other links to this where he's referencing, like, oh, I got this, and I don't know, like they're trying to
Let's
find
show
the
it all.
symptoms. And look at
Let's
this.
show it
Still
all before
outline
we
of
go.
veins. Did it go and come back or stay the same? Lighter, darker, but never gone entirely bruised. Let's summarize: angioedema, belly pattern, brain fog, sinus swell, apnea, lumbar stenosis, greatly reduced urine stream, libido, low libido. Look, bladder ultrasound negative, blood clots, low testosterone, high triglycerides, all cultures negative, semen, urine. Look at this. Alcohol parasites positive. Look, whipworm and his medicine to date, Medrol, Claritin, Zantac, magnesium supplement for constipation. Can't figure it out. Tawari found little but suggested MRI prostate is no downside. Look, cytoscope, official structure from years ago. Look, possible structure from years ago. Made it too uncomfortable in office. Let's talk. Try calling. And look at this. New redness, no cat around. Look at this. Call me
Yep.
15 minutes. You can zoom in. This is also why his lip swells in the other one. Gonorrhea also gives you a swelling in certain areas if that's the local part of it. Look, Gail wants me to take tenadazole, which is a antifungal kind of that from the categorization of the drug because I work in pharmaceuticals. I've been in it a long time. Look at this under the skin. Look at this. We'll try to reach her Monday, and look what he tells him at the end. Dr. Klein sending me for blood. What do you want to add? Cold agglutins, warm agglutins, lupus panel. Please call in Quest 67. I'll go on sending. Look, Quest 76. Sorry. Please fax. Look, blood showed sign of eosinophils. Look, this elevated levels of eosinophils in small blood and urine. I'm taking Tindamax for parasites, FYI, and Palm tomorrow. I seem to be losing my sense of smell. Allergy
So
for
this is hold on. Go back up to that last one. Okay, so clearly this is talking in the first person here. I am losing my sense of smell. Yeah, so
exactly.
that's Epstein. That's proof that the redacted name is Epstein. So why are they redacting Epstein's name from these files?
And look at this. Allergy for eosinophils. And look what it says. Gonorrhea positive. 3 repeats. Look at this. Positive need RX. We'll give you a shot in the office of Traxone tomorrow. Man.
This guy's a walking petri dish for basically every kind of STD imaginable.
Exactly, man. It is exactly, dude. I have one more thing. Like, look, here's a conversation between him and how he's recruiting. I know we only have a few more minutes left. Let me just pull this up. Look at this model scout. Look at this. And the way he talks to some of them. Where is it? No, this isn't the right one. Damn, oh no, this is the model scout Daniel Said. This guy's actually this is just another prominent person that there's very little communication between them. This guy like never wants anything like no conversations publicly or written. He always wants stuff verbally. I ran across at least 4 or 5 messages from this guy. This guy
There's
Daniel
a few
Said.
people I've seen in the files where they're like, "Oh, we can't talk publicly. We'll talk in person and stuff."
Exactly. And let me show you, where is that model? I want to, man, there's like so many messages between him and models, either doing recruitment or doing what do you call it? Where is it? No, that's not it. Here's a picture of Steve Bannon with a woman, I believe. I don't know the legitimacy of this or who the woman was, but just so the viewers can get if anybody might, find another one with which actually shows her face or can identify who she is, because it doesn't look like it's anybody political or anything. This is this is the only image I found that I wouldn't say incriminates Steve Bannon.
You know who that is? I believe that's Ghislaine Maxwell.
You think so?
Absolutely, 100%. And I think they specifically, blurred her out to try to protect Bannon.
I would have put it past them, man. I mean, would not put it past them. And these guys are racist. There's a lot of racist messages between a bunch of these guys, man. And you can sense the
it doesn't surprise me.
And look at this. And this guy, the guy who actually he's talking to, is this guy Daniel Dubno, who's like some sort of like intellectual and owns some big company. He has I think the channel is called Blowing Things Up. Respond to disaster situations, usually fires, but also hurricanes. Provide citizens with emergency housing and humanitarian assistance. And this guy, you search his name up, he appears everywhere. Emmy award-winning TV producer. And look what he says. Look what this guy says in this email. Wait. Oh, dude, man, there's just so much information I want to show. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Oh, let me go. Before I show you that one, let me show you that one first. Then we'll go to the next one, and then we'll cut it there. Or is there anything else I should show, Colin, that I referenced that I didn't mention or I didn't show? Or you think we've gone through just about everything already?
I mean, there's a ton of stuff to go through. Obviously, we could do this another day. There, we're going to have multiple streams. I'll have Ali back, and we'll go through. We'll definitely do more streams of this. We'll have another. We'll do another stream for sure and go over more information because there's a lot. Like I said, it'll probably take us a year to go through everything.
Exactly. I'll just do this one. And we'll do one more. This guy Dan Dugno, look what he says. This shows you their understanding of Israel and how they prioritize it. Like look at this. Look at this. Israeli schools suck, but to have a world-class science infrastructure for their military and the army, the army understands it is their job to teach enough science, engineering, and hacking to be dangerous. So they have Unit 8200, the tail pilot program and specialized program that take their soldiers and what is this, and 11, even before and during basic training, send them to highly specialized education, most notably Technion. Technion is actually a school that in Israel where they train all these guys to hack and use these nefarious methods to control people, control politics, and technically control the environment from every aspect, both technological and
physical. It's the same thing they do at Fort Huachuca.
Exactly. Bullseye. That's a perfect correlation. Thanks, Colin. That's a good one. This is exactly what they look what they say. You may be correct, where you may be correct that my impressions are incorrect, but traveling through UAE and population appears to have profoundly little core competency in science, which I agree with that statement. I do agree with that. That's why UAE, they're able to control their people more. Like regimes that can't control their people properly, they suppress sciences, they suppress mathematics, and they try to keep them, very dumb, so they, can control them technically. And look at this.
Oh,
they reference
I mean, they don't want people to be smart. The dumber you are, the more likely you are to just eat up their propaganda, to just go with whatever they want. And that's why over the last decades, few decades, the schools have gotten so much worse. And that's why I must say, please, if you have children, take them out of school and do it yourself. You've got to homeschool them.
I agree. Put in some sort of special program that's not public or not you know what I'm saying, public schooling.
Public school is not. It literally is nothing but indoctrination camps.
It should be called public programming, not public schooling.
It's programming. Absolutely. It's indoctrination camps. It's programming. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Take them out, and you have to homeschool them. And if you don't have time, if you have a job, and you can't really do it yourself, there are pods, like Candace Owens does. She's busy to where she can't homeschool her children solely herself. So she has a group network, and they all take turns. One day she'll do the homeschooling, another day her friend will do the homeschooling. And that's to kind of take the burden off. But you definitely need to homeschool your kids. Get them out of school. I couldn't agree
more, brother. I could not agree more, man. It's scary times. And in this email, he references the Manhattan Project and Oppenheimer. And look at this. Critical mass is what we had at Los Alamos in the Manhattan Project, a large group with basic training, engineering, and science skills, and much smaller but far more brilliant collection of advanced scientists and theoreticians. Quite a number of which went on to win Nobel Prizes. Since a number of past or future Nobel literatures in science and physics coming from UAE seem to hover around 0. Before you can get scientific innovations in the UAE, before you can get scientific innovation in the UAE or even decent science, you must have a base from which to work and need those who can mentor. It wouldn't cost much to hold the UAE Nobel laureates in what do you call it? An advanced sciences convention, since you could get enough attendees to play solitaire. Without education, you have no science. And they say a lot of racist shit in here, man. They talk about Koreans and a bunch of stuff. And like this is how these elites talk, man. They just talk down on people. I have one last one before I let you go, Colin, man. Let me pull this one up for you. This one actually references Epstein talking to I mean I want to believe it's Steve Bannon, but I don't know, man. All the names are redacted on here, but it's kind of in the same context of what do you call it? The typical conversations they usually have. And he references ISIS, and he clearly states in the email, ISIS wants the masses frightened, not the elites. Do you understand what I'm saying? They actually say this in the email, which I found, I found it very, significant, obviously, from their perception, because there's no illusion. They're very disillusioned on the political landscape. Even the financial landscape of the world, they completely have a very good, hawk's eye of everything that's going on. And look what he says. I got this sign out. It goes, great, great, great. Call my cell. I get back from the trip 5 dinner. Look at this. And like to meet for tea at Pete's Coffee or ice cream at JP Looks. Yes, great. I'll text you back. Great. Look, would like to meet at tea. Look at this. Where is this conversation? Marvin Minsky and George Church. Look at this. Hi, call me when you can. Where is it? Avoid this. Where is it? You have to find. Look at this. Okay. Hopefully we will get a sage if we don't take a subway. Look at this. No, where is it? Where the heck is it? I took it out of context somewhere. Dang, you have to read the whole thing. Where does he say? Oh yeah, look. Oh, this is what he asks him. Okay, perfect. Look at this. Yes, in what way? I don't think this is Steve Bannon, actually. Now that I revisit this, I think this was like somebody in the family or somebody they know. You know what I'm saying? Look what it says. In what way? Between me and mid-range. Look, it says, if a bomb goes off in the subway, will that cause the explosion above ground too? Meaning, will the street above the subway explode as well? No. So will it only directly affect those in the subway? So we should not take any subway between now and then. Winter coats enable people to hide things. Look, it's very untrue. Should we be worried about Harvard as a threatening location? Beware.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So hold on. So they're talking about doing terrorist acts.
I think they're describing a terrorist act. I don't think they're necessarily, like saying they're going to do it. I think he's just describing it. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Because this is the same context that Jeffrey Epstein communicates. If you look at all his emails, like it's not hard to tell like he's talking because, depending on the person he's talking to, say he's talking to the models and the women, he keeps it very plain and simple. Yes, no, go, no, here, take. Do you understand what I'm saying? When he's talking to people like Steve Bannon, he's more open. He gives them an intelligent description. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh,
he has a
time.
different style of communication with every single individual. He omits obviously a lot of information. With the kids, you sense a more soft demeanor, and there's some emails between him and like younger girls, and you can tell like like the way he is, he's short, but he's very kind to them, like in a soft, like, oh, I sent you a little gift. He'll send them little tiny gifts, like, oh, thank you for this keychain. Oh, thank you for this phone case.
Manipulation tactics.
Exactly. Stuff like that. And look at this. This is him talking to somebody who obviously goes to Harvard. This has to be a student there, but it seems like a very naive student or like a person who's kind of maybe brainwashed, I'd say. And look what he says. Very true. Should be worried about Harvard as a threatening location. Beware. Several scholars, I don't know what this is. I thought only Muslims. Is ISIS interested in Harvard realistically? You mean applying for admission? No, I mean staging an attack on campus. No. Okay, hopefully we'll be a sage if we don't take subway. He says it wants the masses frightened, not the elite.
I think is a typo for safe, by the way.
Safe. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Dude, I'm on like 1 hour of sleep, so like I can't even like read properly. I'm about to go to sleep right after the stream. But you
Well,
see
no,
what he
that's what it
tells.
says. I'm just letting everybody know that I think
No,
that's
I
a
appreciate it.
typo.
I appreciate that, Colin. I'm just out of it, man. I'm like, bro, I'm about to just fall asleep. Yeah, you're right. Look, see, even correct safe right here. You're right. Times Square probably dangerous.
Bingo.
You know, like look at this. It wants the masses frightened, not the elites. You know, it's crazy, man. A lot of lunacy in here, but man,
So
a lot
that
of important.
I guess there is he implying that ISIS is working with the elites then, or the elites
Exactly.
control ISIS? That's what it sounds like
Exactly.
to me.
That's what he's references. That's what he means. You know, these guys, Ford, and these guys that were actually in the CIA and trained the ISIS and communicated with ISIS and trained Al Qaeda and all this. You know, they're the ones. They're the puppets for the elites, technically. You know, and that's we can drop it
Big
here, man.
time.
I think we covered just about every spectrum. I wanted to cover a little bit of every part, but my main focus was on this communication with the people. As I wrote on cultural comments, Tucker went to Israel to interview the guy who made a children's book on how to love Trump. The guy. Be real.
Absolutely, Huckabee.
Yep. Couldn't agree more, man. I appreciate you giving us
Huckabee needs to be
the
fired too, man. I mean, he honestly, Huckabee belongs in jail for being
man,
a traitor.
Huckabee, he's so brainwashed, man. He's so evil, man. That guy is just so evil. Like you can tell, Tucker was setting him up. The way Tucker was setting those conversations up, he wanted to see if he was really portraying to the crowd that this guy Huckabee's asleep, man. He's sleeping at the wheel, man. He's just a puppet. He doesn't know anything about anything, man. And Tucker did an amazing job. Props to Tucker, man. He put his life on the line too.
And that's why, honestly, that's why Trump chose him, because he is, loyal. He's just a puppet, a brainwashed puppet. Will do whatever he's told. And he's definitely 100%. His allegiance is with Israel, not United States, for sure.
Yeah, it's a bullseye, man. It's completely true in every aspect.
And I want to say one more thing too about the Tucker going to Israel and getting detained, and they tried to debunk it yesterday and say, oh, well, here's video that shows he's taking selfies with the people. Bull crap. That was probably afterwards. That was obviously, if the scanner's in the room, Tucker says they were taken in the back to private rooms and interrogated. Okay, so that's not the private rooms where they were interrogated. That's both of them together in the main part where the scanner is, which is the main part of the airport. So this is clearly afterwards that this is happening, not while they're doing it. And also they took his passports. So if you're going to release video, release all the video, because I agree. What they're releasing is not. It does not show an accurate picture of what happened whatsoever. That's
everything
clearly more
propaganda. Superficial, Colin. Everything is superficial. 100%. They lie about everything.
It's all propaganda.
Even though you see it in front of your eyes, they'll still try to lie to you and tell you otherwise. They've lost. You cannot believe anything they say. It's always the opposite. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you giving us that time, Colin, man. Thank you, man. And we're praying for your father, man. All right. I hope he makes it out.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Prayers, man.
Update. I'll give you an update on my dad. I went to the hospital. Was up there last night till late, visiting with him, and they've installed the G tube or feeding tube into his stomach. They've gotten the one out of his nose finally. So that's good news. Although I have bad news now, because he now has aspiration pneumonia.
Oh my God.
Which I'm really scared about, because actually that's how my grandmother died, is from aspiration pneumonia. And he has that because what they said is his when he had the stroke, his throat muscles forgot how to work, so he's not able to swallow properly. And when he swallows, whether it be water or food, it's not going down right, and the water is going into his lungs instead of going where it's supposed to go. So there's that. And my dad, another thing, I'll just show you a video. Well, actually, I don't know. Yeah, I'll show it. I probably shouldn't, but I'll show it. But one of the things, it's real hard to deal with, man, because like I love my dad, and it's hard seeing him like that. Uh, you know, he's always been strong. He's always been independent, and you know, like last night when I went to him, it was like it was sad. He was actually begging me to help him die, which is one of the most like it makes me not even want to go up there, because that's all he was saying. That's all he just kept repeating the whole time I was up there is help me die, help me die. You know, and it's hard to try to keep your composure and not just, you know, turn into a bawling mess of tears, man. It's really sad. Really, really sad.
Sorry to hear that,
But
Colin. We're praying, man. You know, it's a tough situation. I know exactly how it is, man. And, you
I'll
know,
show
especially
you
when they
the
lose hope or they're in that much pain, man.
definitely. Give me a second here. I'll pull it up.
You can't hear the audio.
No, you will.
No, but there it is.
Huh, maybe you can't hear you. I don't know what happened. Anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, basically what he was saying in the audio is he was, you know, just kept saying, help me die, help me die. I think I sent it to you last night. Like, I was
I
so
did. I
distraught.
got it. No, I did. I heard it, man. It is, man. Just keep it together, man. You know, I know it's a tough situation, brother. You know, you can't, you know, you're doing a good job, you know, keeping the journalism going and the reporting, man. You're doing an amazing job, man. God bless you, man. You know, we'll try to help
I
as much
try
as we
to,
can. I've been sending that link around to everybody, you know, try to help in the situation, man. I know it's tough, man. Medical bills get out of control too, man. You know,
yeah, and the crazy thing about that is he has Medicare, but he only has the main Medicare. He doesn't have any supplemental, you know, Medicare insurance or anything. So there's going to be a big bill on that. But on top of that, he's been having problems for like the last 10 years that he has not been able to get straightened out with Medicare, to where they're not paying anything. Every time, like he's been in the last 10 years, he's been hospitalized 2 other times, and both of the times he went to the hospital, Medicare refused to pay a dime because they're still claiming that he has insurance with his old company he hasn't worked for like 20 years. And he doesn't.
wow.
I mean, that company doesn't even exist anymore. And there's no way for, like, he's been trying to get it fixed, and he has not been able to get it straightened out with the Social Security to get them fixed, so they understand, like, hey, I don't have insurance. You guys are wrong. So even the hospital now, they've come to us in the last few days and are like, Medicare is denying the claim, and he says he's got insurance, and we're like,
Almost.
no, he doesn't. So we have to try to at least, you know, somehow I got to figure out how to get that straightened out. But
Hopefully, man.
the whole thing.
I know
is
how it is
headache.
with insurances, man. They're the devil. It's like working with the devil, man. Honest to God, man. It's like going to
They're
a
all
car
evil,
salesman.
man.
It's like going to a car
Honestly,
salesman every time you
I
deal with
don't
insurances.
I don't like what Louis Mangione did. I don't condone it at all. Like, you should, that's not, you know, that doesn't solve anything. But I understand. I absolutely
Exactly.
understand, because
People are
they're fucking
frustrated.
evil. They're evil. They're absolutely
Disgusting
evil.
people, man.
And by the way, Luigi Mangione's family owns the Lorien, which are, you know, the Lorien properties, which are, you know, which are assisted living facilities, nursing homes in my area.
Oh,
And
his family owns a system. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and
I didn't even know that.
oh yeah, and they are some of the worst. They're actually, my grandmother was in there, and they are the reason why my grandmother died. They let her get pneumonia because of not turning her and not they would let her get bed sores and not turn her, not flip her.
Man,
They would drug her to keep her immobile so she wouldn't be able to walk around and wander around. I mean, they're horrible.
man,
It's
man. I'm
disgusting.
sorry to hear that, man. It is, man. This system, this health system, is just garbage, man. It's disgusting, man. It's sad, bro. It's sad, man. But we're praying for your father, man. I hope
And
he goes
nobody
back
can
to good
afford
health, man. It's tough.
anything. The freaking the big beautiful bill or whatever. Honestly, that has completely just blew up everything. And
Anything
now
with
people's
Trump's name on
premiums
it
are
is a
through the.
scam. He's a
It,
full-on scam artist. Everybody in their department in the government, Colin, right now is a scam artist, a grifter, and they all need to be purged, man. Honest to God, man. If what they're doing right now with this war and everything they're doing, in the Epstein files, there's nothing. Situation can't get any worse than it already is, man. Situation can't get any worse. They're about to take the whole world into nuclear fallout, man. On the behalf of a pedophile cult.
exactly. We're about to get into World War III, and I guarantee you, if we get into a full blown war with Iran, it's going to lead. You don't think that China and Russia are going to capitalize on
That's
that?
who is in the background. But what they don't understand is, okay, all of them are linked to each other. They all have their own personal interests. But what's happening here is not in America's interest. America's just behaving on the interest of Israel, and this is gonna sink the whole ship technically.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's all we're doing is
everything.
we're fighting their proxy wars. Is what
We're
we're
a sacrificial lamb, is what we actually are, Colin. I have friends in Iran. I
100%.
talk to them all the time. They're very good, respectful people, man. They've been under sanctions for 50 years. And the government already tried to overthrow their government in 1953 and overthrew their democratically elected. So they're already pissed at us. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't go in another country, cause a coup, and then do all this crazy stuff. Man, I don't know, man. It's crazy, dude. This is a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, but I
And I
appreciate you
feel
giving us the time, man, to do this, man. It's good to inform people on what's going on. A lot of these
big
files is
time.
just too much stuff, too much information to go over. Man, some of this
And
stuff is traumatizing, dude. After I went through all this, I haven't been the same after reading all this, Colin. I'm being practically honest with you, man. I haven't been sleeping right reading all this. Imagine these people are deciding your
no,
decisions in
it's
your government, deciding your technology, like every aspect. These people are demons, man. And I understand why why these countries are mad at us. Most of the Americans don't understand why other countries are mad at them. And they say, they're like, I'm honestly
we've done it
surprised
to
how
ourselves.
Iran's
I say all the
exactly.
time, do we have a radical Muslim problem in this country? I say, yes, we do. But I also say we caused it ourselves.
Exactly.
We went over there and destabilized all these other countries by blowing them up, turning them into rubble, overthrowing their leaders and stuff. We caused it ourselves. And why did we do that? For Israel. All this
Exactly.
stuff is based off of Israel. What they told us, like the weapons of mass destruction, that was
Exactly.
Israel. There
You
was
have to
no weapons
understand,
of mass destruction.
they
Everything.
weaponized everything. Everything is weaponized, Colin. Religion has been weaponized. Christianity is weaponized. Islam
Absolutely.
was weaponized
Absolutely.
against them. Judaism is weaponized against Jews. You understand what I'm saying? Weapons, guns, which originally made for defense, are weaponized. The only thing they haven't weaponized completely is nuclear bombs, and you're about to see them weaponize it in an offensive manner really soon. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's
America,
coming.
which preaches about humanitarian international law, is the only country that bombed civilians with nuclear bomb. Not once, twice.
Big time. And I honestly, I am, I feel bad for what the people in Iran are dealing with, but it's not our place to go over there and overthrow their dictator or whatever. That's up to them. That's up to those people,
Up to the people.
to do it. Exactly. It's up to the people. It's not
never
our place
worked.
to
It didn't
do
work in Iraq. It didn't work in Afghanistan.
No.
It didn't work anywhere else.
No.
In reality,
also,
what they're doing is to destroy this country. The whole point of what Israel is doing is not to take out. They know it's not going to work. It's to destroy America so they can just take over and become the hegemon of the whole entire world. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they take over all our apparatuses. They take over all our tech department. They take over all our military
100%.
bases. People don't understand
100%.
that. I mean, people do understand that now. It's just they have no power. They've already lost the power. They've lost full control of the government and every lever to maneuver the government in this situation. But we're the last stand, Colin.
Absolutely. And like I said, though, it's very scary because Trump is not seeing the bigger picture. When he goes in there and starts bombing Iran and we get into a war with Iran, like I said, I guarantee you that Russia and China will both take advantage of that.
They have already.
China. Well, I'm just saying, China will immediately go over there and invade Taiwan, which will now put us in a war with China. And then Russia is going to get involved with NATO countries in Ukraine, which is going to put us. And by the way, they also want to put boots in the ground in Ukraine. They want to. And Trump. Oh, another thing, I just heard a couple of days ago that now Trump, part of his peacekeeping mission, part of his peacekeeping force or whatever, he wants to put 20,000 U.S. soldiers on the ground in Gaza.
That guy's insane, man. He's completely insane, man. He doesn't think things through, man. Trump is a very idiotic, man. He is very idiotic. You can tell from the way he talks and every aspect. I saw this in the first election.
He's immature-ish. Honestly, he's very immature-ish.
And he's got very deep cognitive decline, man. He's not fit to do what he's doing. It's scary times, man. It's scary times, brother. It is just.
I am so disappointed by Trump, man. I am so disappointed by him. He's going to be the downfall of our country.
He's the downfall of the world, Colin. He's not just commandeering the United States. He's commandeering the whole world, man. Obviously the countries are moving away from the dollar because of his instability, man. Nobody wants to support a genocidal.
And they want to do it on purpose, though, too. I mean, that's part of the plan. They want to create a one world digital currency is their goal.
I agree. Even Jeffrey Epstein said it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Jeffrey Epstein said it, man. It is what it is, man. Hopefully, man. I appreciate you giving us the time on your Colin, man. And we're praying for your father, brother. All right, man. Hopefully, man. We'll be in touch. All right. We got some more material.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Like I said,
thank you guys.
In the next couple days or whatever, me and Ali will do another stream with you guys, go over some more of this Epstein stuff. I appreciate you coming on with me. And also, like I said, everybody in the chat, thank you for your prayers for my father and everything. We'll get through it. It's tough, but I lean on my faith. I lean on the fact, the thing that gives me comfort is I know, and it's not much comfort, but it's something. I lean on the fact that everything happens for a reason. God has a plan, and I just got to trust in that. Even when bad things happen, I know that it's part of God's plan, and it's all, there's a reason for everything. So, I just I've got to keep the faith in that, and that's what gets me through it. And I hope that I get more time with my father. I hope that he doesn't die. I hope that I hope that I get to spend more time with him before he is taken home to God. So
God bless him, man. We're praying, Colin. All right, man. We'll be in touch, brother. You have a good evening. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you guys. Love you all. I appreciate you all. See you guys on the next one.